When you picture an asshole, just what do you see? A fedora-clad guy with a stupid goatee? Or maybe an iBanker straight from the 80s who screams in his cell phone and drives a Mercedes? A frat guy who reeks of deodorant smell? That fucker named Tucker who wants beer in hell? Yes, these are all assholes, the biggest around. But you needn't look hard for some more to be found. They're here all around you, they're near and they're far. But which ones are assholes? Well, all of them are. But that just can't be, I hear you debate. I know some of them, and I think they are great. I call these folks friends, and I think they are swell. What makes these guys assholes, I ask you, pray tell? Your friends can be friendly, but sometimes they're not. And then they're an asshole. Now who would have thought?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rolling 20s. We are the show that asks, do you know what Franklin Richards is doing for Father's Day? Any fucking thing he wants. I am Jeremy.
Steve. Jesse.
And V.
Remember, you can subscribe to this show and several others in the MSP library at missionstarpodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes and on Stitcher. Follow us on Twitter at the Rolling 20s. You can send us any fan mail, suggestions for the show, or hate mail at mspfreight@yahoo.com. At the beginning of the show, the music you heard was by Machina Supremacy. You can find most of their discography for free download at machinasupremacy.com, as well as their latest couple of albums at amazon.com. The clip you heard was by collegehumor.com, their video entitled Everyone is an Asshole. You can find more of their videos on youtube.com under the College Humor channel. How are you guys doing this Father's Day?
Well, my dad survived his latest stroke, so I'm doing much better.
Oh, that's good.
Excellent. Yeah.
Well, not that he had the stroke, but that he's...
Yeah, it turned out it was really lucky. He suffered a little bit of motor control loss, and he's not allowed to drive anymore, which is probably going to drive him absolutely apeshit, but...
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Saiyans come back stronger anyway.
I've had a miserable day today.
Elaborate, please.
I've had a bunch of just random little things just kind of pile up on me from depressing things I've seen, read, watched, whatever. And other anxieties like, getting ready for Comic-Con. And it was just all piling up on me. And this morning I got to work, dropped my phone, and it broke. And it seemed like to be the straw that broke the camel's back, and now I just got twisted knots in my stomach. I still do.
Well, as far as the depressing stuff you read, read, heard, and watched, stay off Fox News.
I don't turn on the news, period.
The rest of it, I don't really have a comment for. How are you doing, V?
Oh, pretty good. I have been busy with work. I lost my wallet. That's a bad thing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Did you find it again? Or
not yet. I'm going to have to tear apart my room, but my room is tiny, and if it's in here, I don't know where the fuck it is.
You'd be surprised at how well things are hiding in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last phrase works for so many mental images, it's just hilarious. But I have been watching my Facebook feed all week because I've known at least 3 different people who somehow got exhibition passes to E3. And they were posting some interesting stuff all week. That includes Sean Cardano from Mochi Bites.
Oh, okay.
And he actually asked me during Fanime if I'd be interested in teaming up with him on an Extra Life podcast at some point in the future. As he puts it, you're talkative. It's like, yeah, I kind of am. Except he asked me that not long after the Cosplay Wrestling Federation, so I'm not sure what he wants me to say.
It's Mario.
Other than that, I've been working on some last-minute stuff on the jacket for that costume, and picked up a couple things from online that I'm going to need for that eventually. I know it. Other than that, it's just... I feel a little bit of what Jesse's going through, except for the fact that I have to go to Anime Expo and then Comic-Con back-to-back. I have a day and a half to clean my shit, breathe, and write a report and record a podcast. So, I'm not liking that idea.
I bet.
I may have to request some help with at least one of those items. We don't have any Kickstarters this week. The subject of the week is the first 4 issues of The Wicked and the Divine, an independent comic book series that's out there. We'll get right into the video game news, and as I said, E3 happened, so we are rife with video game news.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
You're also going to notice over the course of this podcast, I really don't have too much by the way of actual comic book related news because Comic-Con is coming and everyone's holding their cards considerably close to the vest.
Probably a good move on their part.
Yeah, I would say so.
However, to balance out the lack of actual comic book news, there is a bunch of actual Comic-Con news this week. So, we're going to seem a little stilted as far as subjects, but bear with us. First off, the 400-pound gorilla of the week, according to many people on the interwebs. The announced remake of Final Fantasy VII for the new console generation.
Oh yeah,
Finally.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
Finally.
unfortunately, you need a PS4 for that.
You know, I have mixed feelings about this because as much as I wanted it, now that it's appearing, I halfway have that mind of don't touch it. It was fucking fine. Because they say they're changing certain things about the story. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I think they're also revamping the combat system too.
Well, they have to. There's
Yeah.
no way that combat system is going to hold up to today's generation of gamers. When some people heard that storylines were going to change, one person posted this interesting graphic that showed Sephiroth jump down, stab Eris through the chest, and all of a sudden this window pop up. Save Eris DLC, $59.
Oh.
No. Resurrect Eris DLC, $59.
Yeah. You know what, though? I would have to pay it. I would have to.
You would, wouldn't you?
Dude, that was probably one of the most horrific events that ever happened to me in video game history. I was like, no. Oh god.
The funny thing was, I remember when we were both playing that, we were renting it in Stockton.
Yeah.
Steve got much further than me, and I'm sitting there watching him. She gets stabbed, and he lets out this squeak noise. It sounds like V when she finds something utterly, erotic. And I'm just sitting there, and it was like 2 phases of death sitting there together because Steve has ultimate sorrow, and he starts saying, "What the fuck?" over and over, and all I am is sitting on my bed going, "Nah, she ain't dead. Nah, she ain't dead."
Steve's
She ain't
upset
happy.
because they took out his healer.
Dude, she had the ability to res everyone in the party, fully heal them, fully mana restore them, and make them invulnerable for a while. You don't kill that person.
Could be argued that's exactly who you kill.
Yeah, well.
The rest of the team had to go after Phoenix. But we actually have the 2-minute video that was released as a part of the Square Enix press release. I'm sure you want to see it at least.
Yes, yeah, I've seen it already, but I don't mind watching it again.
I have not
Wow,
seen
don't
it
cry.
yet.
I sent it. Everything has content inappropriate for children. Does nobody make a Barney game, for fuck's sake?
No one would play it.
I would play it because that shit would be hilarious.
Hey, you get high enough, everything's funny.
Yeah.
I don't get high, so.
The memory of
Yeah,
the
then don't
sky
play it.
with awe.
I gotta admit, the first part of this video, it's vaguely like what I remember of Midgard, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit here I don't recognize.
I do.
Well, there's more detail.
In its wake,
That's the problem.
an age of silence.
And now it sounds like some kind of B-rate Sharknado movie trailer.
For each fond remembrance.
It's pretty.
you know, those encounters.
Yeah, it is.
Were not
Although the guys running around hiding from the helicopter, I almost expect Solid Snake to come out and steal their dog tags.
someday we would see them.
So wait, was this game always like in
Perhaps it was no
modern times?
wishful.
Yes.
Yes, this game kind of broke the brains of Final Fantasy fans because it was the first one that didn't deal specifically in sword and sorcery. This was a modern industrial age it played in.
Yeah, basically the first starting area, the first disc all took place in this city that they're illustrating right now. Then you got out
Midgard.
into the larger world, but yeah, it's still
But let us embrace whatever.
they have
brings.
the airships and all that they've had before, but
Oh, Barrett.
For there
Barrett
are coming.
Barrett's arm.
and
Cloud.
the Buster Sword.
At
The ultimate
last,
Xerox.
The promise has been made.
I recognize the sword.
That's the one thing that everybody kind of agrees on, even if they haven't played the game. Oh, I know what that sword's from. Yeah, we all know where the paddle's from.
Huh?
Steer your boat. Play it first on PlayStation. I remember when this came out and everybody just said, "Oh, great! PlayStation gets another exclusive," and a lot of other people on Facebook just went for 4 months.
Yeah, it's not going to stay exclusive
I can
forever. It's
wait.
like Tomb Raider, Yeah, it's going to be Xbox exclusive. I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of it, but, doesn't mean everybody else is going to be able to eventually get it.
Well, believe it or not, there was another announcement about classic games being brought back that was completely swept under the rug beneath a few other stories during E3. Capcom has announced that they're bringing out a Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be playable on modern consoles, from what I understand, and I think it's going to be on Steam as well, but they will recollect 6 full Mega Man games, including Mega Man 1 and 2.
Damn.
I've yet to play 1. I played 2. Played the shit out of that game. That was your game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hated that because, remember, the only way to save it was to write down
All the code.
Yes.
a grid of codes,
Yes.
so nobody ever saved. Everybody just played it through for 4 hours.
And then
that
everybody
continued into
eventually
the
figured out,
X-Series,
if
too.
you mark A9, it gives you all full energy.
Yeah. So, God, that was an annoyance. I remember trying to write down where I was at 1.2, and I had to write out this grid and put a bunch of X's and O's in it. My dad just looked at me. He looked over my shoulder and said, "That is the most retarded game of tic-tac-toe I've ever seen." I know, right? So that's one of those few things I'm almost sure I'd buy for no other reason than just to have it available.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since, I own a next-gen console. I might as well put stuff that I'm going to play on it.
Yeah. Speaking of next gen, there was another game that was announced during the Square Enix panel that a lot of people just said, haha, PlayStation has this, and they completely went over the fact that Xbox One is getting it at the same goddamn time, and that's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Which,
Well, then again,
Also-
I beat 1, never finished 2.
if you have a PS3, you can pick up an HD version of 2 right now. They call it Kingdom Hearts 2.5.
Yeah, I only have a PS2.
Well, goddamn it, you should mention something. Maybe I'll have my wife bring the PS3 with us to Comic-Con.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to have enough time to beat 2 with everything
No
I'd
else
say
going
beat it.
on.
I just said, poke at it or something. Shit.
Well, I mean, I've played a bit of it. I never beat it.
Okay, so before we get into a whole bunch of regrets and laments, I actually got the video of the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 that came from E3.
I have one quick
Shoot.
question.
Okay?
Did they actually announce that they were bringing out Chrono Trigger?
That was not part of the announcement.
Damn
They
it.
fucking teased everything,
Damn it.
but they pulled the trigger. Yeah. There wasn't any online disappointment about that, but I remember just waiting the whole day for news. By the time they recapped it at work, I actually searched the name Chrono Trigger, came up with nothing. And then my boss nearly watched me rip out my keyboard and try to take a swing at my monitor. And he had to ask if I was okay. And he didn't ask me if I was mad about anything. He actually said, are you sad you didn't go to E3? What?
No, because then I would be responsible for deaths.
I can see the story now. Black man goes on rampage at nerd convention. I sent the video. Okay, trailer represents game in development. Final game will feature actual finished audio. Oh, that's nice.
Keyblade War. Yeah, the master's favorite story. So,
It's always an interesting allegory when you see two characters playing chess and you know that's representative of other characters in the story, but at the same time it's almost a played out metaphor.
But it really, really, really works.
It does. So here's the actual gameplay. This would be the world of Tangled you're in.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I almost thought it was a Mulan stage for some reason.
Well, actually this might be an expanded version of the Hercules Coliseum. Now
This
they
could be a
take
unique world on itself.
Well, usually the Hercules and the
that jumping
past
down
games
like
are
that
only
always makes
Coliseum.
my stomach
Now you actually
cringe.
have a zone related to Hercules.
Oh, they actually got combined team moves now.
Well,
Yeah.
they had them before.
And
Right.
now they've added more of the cinematic running up walls thing for Sora.
Oh yeah, that is the Hercules stage. That's one type.
Oh, look at that.
Where the hell does that come
The
from?
Disney train.
The Electric Light Parade. There's Tangled's Tower. When you take a good look at this video, though,
Oh, guns!
changes form.
Holy crap!
We talked about this before, but it's interesting to actually see it work.
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
bazooka. It definitely, from the trailer at least, it appears they really worked hard to revitalize the game engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing from the Electric Light Parade. Supposedly the worlds in this, they've added
Like Aladdin,
Frozen,
right?
Tangled, Tron, and a few others.
This looks like Bastion.
Aladdin. The teeth
Aladdin was in the
mods.
last. Aladdin was in the last couple. Tron was in 2.
No, this is actually the Hollow Bastion, I think.
Well, there's always at least one central zone that's not
Yeah.
connected to
Oh,
Disney stuff.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hercules' chariot.
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire.
Kingdom Hearts was one of those games when I picked it up, I didn't expect it to be entertaining, but they put a lot of thought into it.
Who's to say I can't change?
I give them full credit.
Maybe light will prevail. There's more to light than meets the eye. You might be surprised.
I'm not sure if the white hair character is Riku or not.
I'm wanting to think that it is, but I have no idea who the other one is.
Yeah, I'm clueless
I'll be
myself.
honest, my first thought when I saw the guy with the black hair was,
Fucking Sasuke.
Yeah, Sasuke!
Well, I do have a little bit of news that is not E3 related, but it is League of Legends related. We've heard that there have been issues with different teams regarding fair play, regarding rosters.
Mhm.
There was a League of Legends player named Yilang Peng. His screen name is Double Lift, and he was sidelined due to a basketball injury.
What did he do?
Did he screw up
Sprain
a
a
finger?
finger or something?
Somehow his pinky finger, it appears to be on his left hand, was gashed open over the course of the game.
Ooh. Through the course. Oh, yeah. That's gonna suck.
The course of the basketball game. You know, it's not like somebody threw a mouse at him or anything.
Oh, that kind of sucks, actually.
According to the Daily Dot, Double Lift told him he's hoping to recover and get back into the game in a week or two. The injury came at a really bad time for his particular team, though. Counter Logic Gaming. He's part of a North American team. They're currently competing in the summer portion of the League Championship Series. And the American finals are in August.
Mm.
No word on who's going to fill in for him. However, it looks like on the rosters for the League of Legends esports site, they've already changed out his name for Trevor Hayes, known as Stixxay. Or Stixxay. That's one of those things that is and is not a story. It's just bizarre, though, to hear that a video gamer was taken out by basketball.
Yeah.
It's not a phrase you ever expect to really hear. Getting back into E3 news for a minute, we have a video from another game that was debuted over the course of the weekend, the new Dishonored sequel.
Ooh,
I have not actually seen that.
I have that.
Well, actually, I may have that wrong. It looks like this may be the original Dishonored. However, this was a playthrough by a Dishonored player known as Stealth Gamer BR, who pretty much eschewed stealth for the sake of what he calls the Chaos route. So, it may not be new gameplay necessarily, but it should be interesting to go through. I sent it. I apologize for the mix-up, at least as to the source of the video, but yeah, this is supposedly somebody who just, I guess, got tired of sneaking around and decided to go after everything.
No, the option is available for you to play like that.
Yeah, I like to sneak everywhere.
Yeah, you can sneak everywhere, do non-lethal, almost next to no confrontation, or you can just
shove
spread
that guy
chaos.
up a rail?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, he did.
An arrow coming down. Did he stop time?
Yes, that's one of your abilities.
Yep.
This game is really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, you just timed that out a little too well.
Yeah, no, that I've seen somebody play this through before, and yeah, he got really elaborate with his kills too.
I'm not sure how much of this game I've played. I think I've played a couple zones, but that was very early on in the story.
Yeah, I've actually haven't played
you
it very
didn't
much
get far enough
either.
to get to some of the good shit.
It was one of those things that came free with my PlayStation Network membership. Whoa! Separated that man's head completely.
Yep.
Who did he just free?
I don't know.
Oh, it was some. I don't remember who it was.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you can get pretty brutal on this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. From what I remember, there was a lot of really careful planning. This guy, not going to say he didn't plan, but his plan is all stab, stab. And behead.
Well, he knows what he's doing.
What's that thing in his hand?
A mine.
Bomb.
Huh.
Oof.
Okay, this is wet work.
I think he's probably played the game enough times. He knows where everything is at. So.
Yep.
The animations for the magic or the psionic powers, I keep expecting him to start yelling about who his son is.
Actually, I think according to the story, your character doesn't even know how or he got these parts. He knows someone gave it to him and said, do something with it.
I always love when the power fairy stops by. Jesus Christ. Wow, he swung that so hard the head disappeared and the mask fell off. If I didn't know any better, I'd say somebody took a bastardized version of Wolfenstein and just went nuts.
I think he uses it feels like he uses the same engine.
Oh!
You stab the guy's collarbone, then break his neck. Man.
Oh,
Dude,
this is brutal.
that was just gratuitous at that point. That was just, I want to spin your head around. I think he just ripped that head off.
Oh, body
What the
possession.
hell?
Yeah, he possessed the body.
It makes him
Oh.
jump off. Oh no, sets him up so he can throw him off.
The hell am I? Bye!
Oh, and then follows
Oh.
him down, kills him in the air, kills his guard.
Dude!
And then the body hits. Oh,
He beat the guy to the ground.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, kills
Fuck
you
Spider-Man,
and-
this is Deadpool.
oh, it walks the guy
He's in command of the walker.
electricity.
Dude.
I love this player.
When is somebody gonna yell finish him?
You wouldn't be able to hear anything else.
This is your brain. This is your brain on my knife. Any questions? I thought not.
He specifically activates the alarm.
The hell?
Oh, you'll see. He just lit the guy on fire.
Wow.
Dude.
That was probably the
Wow.
last guy, too.
Need more hobbies. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, there is a lot of Batman Arkham Knight fans who have gone crazy.
About.
Arkham
As of
Asylum
the-
crazy or just fan crazy?
No, Arkham Knight crazy. There's a problem. As of June 18th, which was this past Thursday, Warner Brothers Interactive announced that there will not be an Arkham Knight Collector's Edition.
Oh, I heard about that.
The one we discussed that was supposed to involve a statue of the Batmobile,
Right.
they canceled it because they cited a problem with the actual Batmobile statue. The company they contracted to make it apparently didn't make it up to their snuff. They cited, they cited issues with how the statue turned out. So instead, they're offering, as compensation, you can cancel your pre-order and get your money back. You can move your pre-order to a regular edition, and they will offer a gratis version of the season pass or a small bucket load of skins. There's a lot of people who are spitting mad over something like this. And it caused a semi-backlash by some bloggers who say this is why you don't pre-order video games. I don't know of stuff like this happening that often.
No, it
Not
doesn't
to mention
happen
the
that
fact
often.
that it's like kickstarting something. You're a lot of people treat it like pre-ordering, but there's shit that can go wrong. I've yet to participate in a single Kickstarter that actually gets released on time. Not that there aren't some that do, but it's the same thing with games. You're paying for something that hasn't been made yet, and it
And
sounds
you run
to
the
me
risk
like
of
the
it not being
company.
completed.
The company tried to get it done. They contracted. They got their models and said, you know what? We had people pay good money for this, and this isn't worth it. So what are we going to do? We don't have enough time to produce more, or go out and find another company. So we're
their
just
choices
going to
were-
try and do right by the people that ordered it and give them something in return. Why are you guys so pissed? I understand you're disappointed, but why are you pissed?
I don't know. I may be the wrong person to lend this a helpful or sympathetic ear simply because I've recently, sold a lot of my collectible statues and stuff. I don't need another one sitting on my counter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's beside the point. Would it be cool to have? Certainly, but at least they aren't sitting there giving you crap and going, oh, well, you guys paid for it.
Well, I actually have a little bit of a video to go with it. During the course of E3, they released a full trailer for the opening sequence of Batman Arkham Knight. And this game is just being released in 2 days from now. You want to take a look?
Sure.
Sure.
We need to see what is going to take up all your time.
Oh, ha 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 ha, dick.
Hey, we're
I
all
sent it.
assholes.
I will say this about the Arkham series by Rocksteady, not the Arkham Origins necessarily, but the Rocksteady games. They do very well at setting up a very gothic, almost steampunk style vibe in their games.
I like it.
And they're doing
Gotham
it
City
again.
is still kind of ancient in that respect.
Well, of course it's ancient. It's New Jersey. For those that don't know, DC did admit Gotham City's in New fucking Jersey. Oh, so this must be the. It's a cremation. They're actually destroying the body.
A Joker.
Yeah, he died at the end of Arkham City. That is actually a little frightening to look at in this respect.
Yeah.
That rictus grin that somebody purposely put on his face. This is actually creepier than Jared Leto in the Suicide Squad.
I think I saw
Are
the
you
eyes.
sure
flicker.
they forced his mouth like that, or it's naturally like that?
I don't know. Oh, wow. Watching it roast.
Yeah.
It's still smiling, damn it.
What do you think it smells like?
I don't want to know.
Cotton candy?
This is how it happens.
Cotton candy. You make it sound like he's a goddamn killer clown from outer
This
space.
is how the Batman died? What?
What?
I admit, I didn't hear that.
9 months ago, Joker was cremated. I pressed the button and burnt the evil bastard myself.
Is that Gordon?
And then
Sounds like
we
it.
waited. Gotham braced.
Maybe that's who he's
the
playing.
inevitable
That's the
powers.
voice actor of the guy who plays like Mike
But
in
it
Breaking
didn't
Bad
come.
and Better Call Saul.
Crime actually fell. Deep down, I knew war was coming. I was just waiting for someone to pull the trigger.
Wouldn't it be sad if this is the voice of like some weird just coroner or police officer and you get half the game through his viewpoint?
It would be interesting, actually.
It's just the tech that works at the morgue.
I'll be honest, the person who I see pushing that button will either be Gordon or Batman. If not, at least a witness to it.
Or maybe that's
The
how
scene
Rocksteady's
with
gonna...
Jim Lee's face on it? What?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
Henry
It's
Adams.
Jeremy. I was about to say, wouldn't that be the way to end the Rocksteady games to make sure that they put a button on it? They fake Batman's death at the end?
Wait
You know what I mean?
I'll have a word.
There's some random cop.
Yeah. Somebody causing...
There's a lot of tearing.
Somebody's apparently smoking inside, and he has to go have a word with him.
Well, that's the problem. Okay. Oh, this all happens during...
Oh,
that's not
Scarecrow.
smoking. Yeah.
There's no smoking in here.
Whoa!
Wow. That is a freaky face to stare at. Yep, this would be the beginning.
Okay, what the
Probably
fuck
lose
was that?
his mind.
Oh, that acid is horrible. The Scarecrow's fear gas is working.
Oh, yeah,
It makes people see
definitely
fear
fear gas.
spears.
Oh,
I wonder if
And
it's
right
being
now,
mixed
it's
with
like
something else.
It looks like an episode of The Walking Dead, frankly.
And he's
He's
shooting
shooting
all the
everybody.
diner patrons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Although a few, to be honest, are probably trying to attack him, seeing something else. Look at the
Right.
sky, the ceiling of the place. Wow.
And happy
Okay.
music.
Want.
okay. I like this.
Want. That was really awesome.
I guess we haven't seen the Scarecrow yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, you have.
PlayStation exclusive Scarecrow missions, probably for about 8 months or so.
Oh, that's the PlayStation exclusive.
For now.
PlayStation has been going mad crazy with exclusives, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also announced during E3 was that they launched a Kickstarter campaign to try and finish a series that they started about 2 decades ago. Konami wants to finish Shenmue.
Ah.
They launched a Kickstarter campaign for Shenmue 3.
Yeah, and they advertised it at E3.
Oh, they announced its launch at E3. And the Kickstarter has already made news. It's being done by EastNet. And they had a goal of $2 million when they opened it.
Where's
It
it
took them
at
a day
now?
and a half. It took them a day and a half to get to that amount. The Kickstarter will be ending on Friday, July 17th. It has 26 days left. 43,810 backers. Currently sits at $3,513,357.
I think it's still
The
got
game is-
time.
It's still got time to do a bunch of stuff, but it broke records that even Mighty Number 9 couldn't hit. This is the fastest game. This is the fastest Kickstarter ever to reach $2 million. Ever. I don't know what this will be. I don't know what system this is planned to be released on, although I imagine it'll probably be Xbox, PlayStation, probably Steam, I would bet.
Mm.
But you can get some freakish stuff. Somebody backed it for $10,000, and they get the jacket of the main character, which is an original jacket worn by Masaya Matsuke for all of the Shenmue press events 14 years ago.
Wow.
Oh,
3 other people
person's a
backed for
small person.
Oh yeah, 3 other people pledged $10,000. This level is all gone, and they get dinner with Yu Suzuki and the Shenmue script set. They get the original script from Shenmue 1 and 2, and bring a friend to join a dinner party in Japan with Yu Suzuki and the other backers of this tier. The date's tentatively set for September 2016. You'll also be named as a special sponsor in the credits of the game.
Nice.
Okay.
And it doesn't say anything about transportation. I don't know if they provide it or if you have to provide it.
I mean, unless they explicitly say they're going to provide it, I would not count on it.
Man, there's at least 25 people that backed it for $3,000, and they get a replica of Ryo's trademark jacket from the Shenmue games. It's a Yu Suzuki approved replica of the jacket.
At least that may fit
And-
the person getting it.
Yeah, they'll let you choose your size for it. There is a ton of stuff in here, and people are just backing it at a lot of different levels. So that's going to be interesting to see where it ends at the very least. Alright, I have a gameplay video that I'm sure Jesse's going to want to see, but it is too long to go through because it's over 10 minutes.
What is it?
IGN did an interview with the game designers for Transformers Devastation E3. It's a combination of an interview interspaced with gameplay videos. You actually see what it's like to play this game as at least 2 of the characters in it. I take it somebody wants to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to, yeah.
Alright. I sent it. Boy, this video starts with a lot of darkness.
Yeah.
A lot of darkness. We're already 10 seconds in and I don't see anything.
I'm 15 and I'm still not seeing anything.
Okay, I've just reached 16.
Alright, about 20 it starts showing up.
Volume is kind of low on it.
Yeah.
everybody. I am Max Gobo for IGN. Joining me is Robert from Activision.
Well, you can see a very energetic IGN interviewer and one bemused translator and two looks like relatively irritated Japanese designers.
So Transformers
Brothers
here.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
This was an amazing surprise that was unfortunately kind of spoiled by some screenshots. We haven't actually seen the game.
It's amazingly quiet. It's a little difficult to understand what they're saying.
Platinum Games action game, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. So third-person brawler, what you would expect in terms of what they're really, really good at.
Let's take a look.
There we go.
Show this off. That is Generation 1
And there's
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime is the original flat-nosed cab.
Yeah. And some Stunticons, it looks like.
It's very interesting.
No. Those are battle chargers.
Yeah.
They have loved Transformers since they were kids, right?
They're supposed to be your generic villains based on Runabout and Runamuck.
And the idea of this game is kind of pay homage to that.
Transforms and charges him in midair as a cab. Wow.
IDW Comics.
Yeah, I question that a little.
Yeah.
Which was really awesome, harking back to the original.
I understand it's giant robots. Physics are going to be kind of weird, but the ability to drive in midair, I question that a bit.
It is
And lands on him as a cab. Excellent.
After all the flame decal Michael Bay stuff. You know,
And they
it's
drop
kinda nice to see
energon cubes.
very,
Okay.
very shiny classic.
Why wouldn't they?
And he's got a gun popping out the
Certainly
top.
Backing it up with some really cool effects here.
This
Interesting.
looks like Wheeljack's cannon.
Talk about the gameplay.
Suddenly
it does.
forms the trailer out of nowhere.
You're more than meets the eye.
Well, that always happened in the series, though.
I know.
I can
Yeah.
do that to Saito-san, since he's the director. That would make
Seekers.
Yeah.
And generic ones.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, they're more like Dirge.
Yeah, they're still generics, though.
Yeah, but it
And
would have been
they're
newer of
Dirge
the
or
series.
Ramjet.
I didn't
Dirge.
see the
So,
Dirge.
Really important things,
I don't see
not
the.
surprisingly for a Transformers game, is how transformation works.
They're a sideswipe.
And
Yep.
they really.
Oh, it looked like he was about to do something nifty.
Yeah. I'm not as excited for it now.
Why?
Driving in midair.
Yeah. It's a game based on a cartoon. I don't know what you're expecting.
Eh.
And not a particularly well-written cartoon at that.
True.
Nothing was well written in the 80s.
There was some stuff, you know. Big Trouble in Little China came out in the 80s.
Of that in this game.
Are they trying to remake that?
There's really three ways to
Devastator.
So one is
Yes,
you use it
The
as a-
Rock
That's
is
not
being
Devastator,
cast
that's
as.
Bone Crusher.
Well, part of
Oh,
it.
now
in the
Scavenger.
vehicle, and you'll go after them after you've knocked them back. There will be specific moments where you can do that, and you can
Ooh.
continue your combo. You can use that to chain combos together. Another
There
way
is
is
Bone
to
Crusher.
dodge
Oh,
them.
wow.
You can actually
That
transfer
drill
the dodge
accessory from the card.
And then the last
The toy.
is there's this special type of combo you can do. We're calling it a rush attack.
I love the size
Gain
difference.
Maximum speed.
Yeah, it looks like Bumblebee can John Woo stuff.
When that happens, you gain maximum speed, and then you can do a special crazy combo.
That is awesome. What I love here is also we totally have Bumblebee, which is lovely.
This is kind of wacky.
Definitely kicking ass there.
This
This looks so much. It looks familiar, but totally new at the same time. It's reminiscent of some of Platinum's other.
Just
work.
about everybody he hits is like right in the balls.
Rising Revengeance. There was a piece of
Developers
information
look
saying
really
this was running on the Revengeance engine. Is that
bored.
not the case?
They look irritated.
It's like a 5-year-old fighting an adult.
And the developers really look like they just don't want to be there in general.
Well,
Maybe
they
it's
don't
just like
understand
they just
English,
cross the
so he's
ocean.
just sitting there. I think he's just sitting there being bored because he can't understand what's going on. Soundwave, yes. That's why. To this day.
Laserbeak, Ravage.
Ravage.
Oh, that's it?
What?
Sideswipe.
So, that's actually not accurate.
There's something about him swinging those gigantic swords at that little cat. It's kind of unfair.
They use it for all the characters, right? And what they do is they
It's an interesting idea, though, that everybody in it seems to know Car Fu. It makes you wonder what Grimlock's going to do.
Customizations.
Chomp bite.
Its own beast, basically. So every
It's got a tail.
you do is based off
And a
of
flamethrower.
technology, but then it's basically created.
Alright, I think I've had about enough of that because the audio is unfortunately very light. And half the time they switch back to the developers who just look unfortunately pissed. But there was another trailer that was much louder and made the Microsoft fans extremely happy. They put out their first actual promo video of Halo 5, Guardians.
Okay.
And they
Oh,
released
The only one I've
please-
seen so far was the release they had for the Warzone.
This is a 6-minute campaign demo.
Hmm.
I sent it. This will be much louder, I am sure.
Yeah.
May contain content inappropriate for children,
Yep,
like
that
naked
was
blue
loud.
women.
Not just another target, you know. Every target is just another target.
The Master Chief.
0631 this morning. Master Chief was declared absent without leave.
Yeah, what do you do if the Master Chief goes AWOL? Just pray he never comes back?
You are. Yet now you hunt another spot. The greatest of your
And the Arbiter is back.
Yeah.
Every other Spartan, every
There's
soldier,
Buck.
when they hear about this,
Yeah.
Is that
they're gonna hate us.
Nathan
You
Fillion?
know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always voiced Buck.
You're not the only one here.
Ever since ODST about 6 years ago.
So Niall, the Covenant.
I've gotten some more story about the game as well. It's not just the Master Chief who's gone rogue. A Blue Squad, a team known as Blue Squad went with him.
Yeah, well, Blue Squad was Master Chief's original squad.
But I mean, he took other Spartans, and all the campaign videos that I've heard of have to do with squad play.
Yeah, that's
got a bunch
the
of
thing, is
NPCs
that they said
following around.
that was one of the things they announced, was that the campaign is actually 1 to 4-player co-op.
Huh.
The actual campaign. So I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet.
We sure the Chief came this way? Let's see. Activating the Artemis. Gotta read it. Vale, you see this too?
Let me take a look.
A lot of shit going on in the background.
Chief's assault rifle. No ammo. Then the Master Chief's been through here.
Which means he has a head start on the Guardian. Let's get moving.
Which means he either emptied the gun because he decided he was bored, or he shot everything. Poor grunt.
Looks like Arbiter's running the Covenant out of town.
I watched this video out of curiosity. He gets fucking crazy.
The Covenant's finally breaking.
Seems like 343 Studios seemed to borrow some stuff from Square Enix when it came to plot points via mission.
Mm.
There's the Guardian.
You think the Chief's already on board?
I'm curious to know why the Master Chief would steal that thing.
Watch out!
And here's where you start running for your fucking life. You almost expect to run across a young woman with a pickaxe.
My question is, why are they running on that thing? Are they worried he's gonna fall?
I don't know. I don't know where else is viable in this place. It seems like everything's thrashed.
Made it.
Yeah, safe and sound inside a crumbling building.
Better than the bottom of the ocean.
So they're all This is an entire team of Spartans he's got with him.
Yeah,
now,
that's the
isn't it?
next gen.
Yeah, although
Spartans.
I didn't realize Buck was a Spartan.
Did you see that?
He was
My understanding
ODST
was
last
all.
time.
Well, yeah, but that was a few years ago by this timeline. There's more of the Forerunners.
Yeah.
But they have ships now.
Buck, light it up.
You got it.
So you lighting it
Every
up?
time they mention his name, all I can hear is the lines from fucking Kill Bill. You know, that's Buck and he likes to fuck.
Soldiers!
These things were always fucking creepy.
Weapon cache up there. Vale, Tanaka, flank left. Buck, head up with me.
It definitely made it easier to climb and ledge hop.
Big
And a
guns.
new type of weapon.
Plasma caster.
That's new.
Oh, they bounce.
Yep.
More of a
New plasma
grenade.
cast.
Charge?
Oh, charged grenade.
Sticky.
Showing off a couple abilities, including the ground pound.
Soldier captain's on deck.
Take them down.
I am the Warden Eternal, keeper of the domain and her secrets.
Take him out.
This one tells me it's not going to be quick.
The Master Chief is called, but your passage is denied.
Oops.
Start over. For a second, I wasn't sure if that was Flood or not. This game looks like it's going to have a pretty big scale to it.
Yeah.
We need to get airborne. We are airborne at Forerunner face-off.
And this game comes out, if I remember correctly, October of this year.
I thought it was closer to like November or December, but
I'm pretty sure it was October. The original date listed was October or December, but they moved it up when they finalized
October.
the date.
October 27th.
About to say my pre-order card from Target says release date fall 2015. So much sooner than
Right
I.
before Kamikaze.
Yeah, enjoy. Why does everything have to come out just before I have to take long trips?
You're just that lucky.
Microsoft also took the opportunity to show off a different piece of technology, their HoloLens goggles.
Oh yeah, that looked kind of cool.
They decided to show it off with a demo of what 3D Minecraft might look like.
Yeah. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, we still got the video, and we should probably take a look at it because there's going to be a ton of people who haven't heard about this. Man, the whole HoloLens thing was really swept under the rug underneath Final Fantasy and a few other announcements everybody kept fucking repeating.
It's really hard to compete with Final Fantasy VII Remake, so...
In certain circles, yeah, but there was plenty of other stuff going on that was fucking interesting.
Ready.
Oh, that one's loud, too.
To show you how it works, let me introduce Brand Director at Mojang, Lydia Winters. Lydia?
Thanks, Kuda.
I always wonder how awkward it is for people to do these demonstrations, because it's not exactly what these guys are used to doing.
Soon after,
usually they're typing and shit, you know?
Unbelievable adventure. This game has changed millions of lives, including my own.
I'm so glad I don't play Minecraft in general.
5 years, we've been blown away by the amount of people who have been playing our game.
However, there is a titanic amount of people that do play Minecraft and do wacky shit with it.
I'm not one of them.
Never could have imagined.
I was amazed there was somebody who recreated the map of Westeros in it.
Or the Starship Enterprise. Or the Death Star.
On July 4th and 5th in London, we are going to have the biggest Minecraft celebration in the world at Minecon 2015.
Minecon, there's a convention for Minecraft even.
Yeah, there's several of them.
And be inspired by their ideas.
Not my dig.
We're always trying to harness new technology and create new ways of playing the game. With that in mind, please let me welcome Zach Skritian from Microsoft Studios.
What do you think happens to the displays from E3? Once they're done with it, do you think there's just a whole bunch of scrap out behind the convention center?
Specifically for Microsoft HoloLens.
It's not like you're going to set this shit up in
And a
their
minute and a
office.
half in there, we actually get a demonstration.
To show our demo today, we're using a special camera. This display technique is like putting a HoloLens right on the camera itself.
Supposedly there was also a HoloLens. There was also a HoloLens regarding a section of the convention center that was recreating parts of the Infinity from Halo 5. You could walk down and follow waypoints, and then you would get a holo briefing from Agent Locke and a few other items.
Grabbed his Xbox controller to play this
Sounded cool.
giant holographic portal into a 3D Minecraft world right on the wall. Even though I don't have a HoloLens, I'm able to play together with Sax from my Surface.
Wouldn't that be frustrating if this goes wide? You just got a bunch of people staring at a wall.
How's it any different than staring at monitors?
One of the cool things about HoloLens
Monitors,
is that
you're more
it
likely
lets
to see what the
you
frick
play
they're doing.
Minecraft virtually anywhere. You can get different perspectives on your Minecraft world. It's awesome to play with the controller, but could we show them something new, Sax?
Sure. Let's take our experience off the wall and then put it on the table over here. Create world.
Create world. Okay.
Oh, nice.
There it is, filling in right in front of him.
Yeah.
Damn.
This impressed the hell out of me watching this. I don't play Minecraft myself, but I could definitely see this being used for RTS.
So many things.
Oh yeah,
all kinds of
RTS.
stuff.
I'm not thinking RTS. I'm thinking D&D.
I was just saying that this would be
Yeah.
great for D&D.
Anything for like a 3/4 or top-down viewing.
This would be great for D&D, but at the same time, it'd be a pain in the ass because now every time the DM's mad at you, he can just flick your character right off the table.
Let's follow Lydia around for a bit. Follow player.
Imagine playing Diablo with this.
I can zoom in and out for a better perspective. Closer.
Don't know how to do that
All
myself.
the way in. Close up. What are you up to, Lydia?
I'm hopping in a minecart.
Let's take a ride down to the village. We're going to take a different perspective. Overview.
It's incredible.
What is that
to have
sound?
Minecraft on your table.
Sound effect.
Imagine seeing your own
Oh.
worlds like this. Isn't it crazy that I see Sax just standing at the table, but through the HoloLens, he can see a whole Minecraft universe at his fingertips.
I can see a whole generational problem here. You know, honey, what do you think he's doing?
You can even
As long as he's not
raise
masturbating, I don't
see
care.
Things that are normally hidden way underneath the ground.
I hope it's
Could you
worse.
give us a sneak peek of what's under that village, Sax?
Sure. Grab the world. Lift it up. Let's see what's hiding underneath Lydia. Ooh. Huge stronghold right underneath. I'm gonna mark that for you. Mark that.
I mean, as cool as this technology is,
I see
playing the
them on my
game
way there
with
now.
this device kind of takes the fun out of the discovery of the world.
I'm placing some TNT so I can blow
Maybe.
my way into this stronghold.
I don't know if his knowledge of the underneath map has to do with him already being there, though.
Using
Well, he can see what's
There might-
underneath when he moves the map like that.
just using my
Right, but like I said, we don't know if he's already explored that area, so therefore he has decent knowledge of it already.
Or he made it himself, in which case...
Step back.
Yeah.
Whoa. There's a lot of material.
I have no idea what just happened there.
Yeah, they blew it up with TNT.
One more thing I
Okay.
want to do with like.
He's gonna kill pigs!
I think the pigs need
Bacon.
an upgrade. Lightning strike. There you have it. Zombie pigmen.
Zombie pigs.
Yeah, I'm assuming that means something to people that play Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Zombie pigmen are like the goblins of the world.
From playing Minecraft
Oh, okay.
on your
Yeah,
wall
the
to an
technology
entire
is
world
exciting,
right on your
but
table,
the subject that they
Microsoft
used was
HoloLens
kind of
gives the community a different way to play in the world.
least to me.
they
It's dull to
already
you,
love.
though, but Minecraft
Yeah.
has
We'll
a
have even more
multinational
Minecraft
following.
news
Oh, I
at
know.
Minecon in a few weeks. Thank you.
So, I give him credit for finding something interesting to the majority of people out there. And Minecraft probably is one of the simplest things to encode and turn into a 3D world. It's, you know, its graphics are much more generic in
simple.
comparison to a lot of other games out there. But continuing the trend of a fuck ton of videos, I gotta stitch into this show. Electronic Arts really blew some heads off when they showed a 5-minute video of gameplay from their new game, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
And of course, we have that too.
Of course.
I sent it. May contain content inappropriate for children. Space
course.
Wizards.
Oh, welcome to Hoth.
And this was captured from a PS4. This is supposed to be actual multiplayer footage.
We will see.
Yeah.
Welcome to the load screen.
Actually, I'm kind of looking at that going, okay, so you're not Luke Skywalker, which means you're dead.
Yeah. No, some ships
Han
got
Solo and
away.
Princess Leia and some other people made it out.
Yeah, the developer
Yeah, but this army you're part of?
Huh?
This army you're part of? They might as well have been called Red Shirt Squadron.
Now, red shirts would have stood out against
Push it back, way back.
Well, I don't know, Red Shirts are still the only crew that could lose against Stormtroopers, because no matter how bad they shoot, Red Shirts should still die left and right.
Yeah, and the Imperials are making the rush.
I wonder if there's a group of guys, group of players on the other side.
Yeah, there is. Oh, cool.
This appears to be a capture of the flag within.
Basically, the better your team starts doing, from what I understand, that's where you get to call in these airstrikes, and you get to call in the Walker Strike, and so on and so forth. You get to start getting access to your hero characters and so forth.
The thing is, though, there are players in some of those ships as well.
Right.
I think this segment right here is a... Oh no, never mind. I was
are
saying it's
the
an offline mode, but I see the same icons as those satellites.
Yeah, there's a giant boob ion cannon.
So you got a freaking rocket launcher. There you go.
Had to think about that one. At least they spent some time upgrading the weaponry to make it better for an FPS-style game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the usual blasters in Star Wars would not have made a compelling game in this format.
The rebels have activated the uplink station. We must shut it down.
Okay, so you're actually piloting the walker.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep, you get to be the gigantic robotic camel.
Until a bird trips you.
Orbital strike. Not quite as explosive as I'm used to in that phrase, but it's cool.
Hang in there, help is on the way.
Blue 15 going in.
Blue 15, huh?
This is Blue 12 accelerating to attack speed.
They had to do that.
Oh, he flew through the legs for fun.
Of course he did.
Blue 12 going in for the Three Stooges maneuver. It looks like he wasn't doing too well before he launched the cable.
Imperial Walker has been taken out.
Do you think these are just viewpoint from different players, or do you think this thing is like swapping on the fly somehow?
No, I think this is.
I think it's supposed to be a viewpoint
players.
from different players. X-Wing.
I don't remember the TIE Fighter and X-Wing war in the sky, but hey, I'll give a creative license to make a better game.
I'll wait till you get to the end.
I've seen the video.
Oh, there goes the ion cannon.
Yep,
And
somebody
the
pierced the
G-Force
nipple.
is there.
Rebel Y-Wings are making their attack run.
We need Iron Eagle stat. Well, this day has not gone well for certain people.
I like the trenches.
Is there any customization for character avatars?
I would assume so, being that you can.
Considering the
play
guy's
different races.
green.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to be green. Blue is my color.
Personal shield.
Yep.
Block that orbital
Just stop the
strike.
orbital strike.
Nice.
Oh crap! Nope, it's
Hey,
coming down.
Peter, what are you doing, man? It's not cool, Peter. Hey, what the oh, fuck.
Somebody else got a hero character?
That's that
Yeah,
cannon.
he decided to time travel. He's already lost a hand and got the green.
Yep.
Take it out.
Hey, Pop! Happy Father's Day! It did look like a fun game, though.
Yeah.
According to the video, you pre-order and get early bonus content. It's supposed to be available November 17th? Is that this year, or is that November of 2017?
No, it should be coming out this year, I think.
Okay.
The one I'm actually kind of curious about is the Knights of the Fallen Empire.
I didn't dig too deep into that announcement based on all the stuff that was out already.
Yeah. It has a rather impressive cinematic trailer for it. It's the only thing I can say is that the father, he's a giant douche.
Most fathers in Star Wars are giant douches. Haven't you seen the guy in the bug suit?
Yeah. So yeah.
But there is another video from one of the most polarizing games probably released in the last 12 months. Destiny is getting a brand new expansion.
Yep.
They're calling it The Taken King, and the video is out.
Yep.
The trailer is 2.5 minutes.
Shoot.
Well, that's what you do during the game. Do you want the video?
Shoot.
I can't. I'm not playing the game right now. Do you want the video?
I'll play the game.
I'm surprised you weren't playing it already. I sent the video. Oh, and it starts off with the Galactica.
It reminds me of those ships from Warhammer.
Actually, it reminds me of that movie. At the back of this thing, there should be a bumper sticker that says, "We break for nobody."
Yeah.
Spaceballs?
Yeah, that's the
reference.
And he's coming for you, Guardian.
So this is supposed to be an actual continuation of some of the in-game lore instead of just adding more for once.
Oh, they actually give us a new location to go to, a legitly new location.
Yeah, Phobos.
Yeah.
Hey, there was the new Hunter ability.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the King taking some new subjects.
Okay, that looks scary from a
That was
ball.
a big Cabal.
Yeah, Cabal with wings. Holy crap!
Yep. New ship too.
Yep.
There's the
Hunter's bow, which is a support ability.
Which is Call Me Link.
We call
Titan's
that one
hammer.
the Center Palpatine right there.
Most people are calling it the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the Hunter's ability is now a crowd control type ability.
Oryx is coming, Guardian.
Although I have to say, I'm still
get a
playing my
bomb or
Rock,
hook
running
shot.
around nuking things with electricity. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
But everyone's going to start complaining that the Hunter doesn't have a bomb or a hook shot or a boomerang.
I don't know. I'm also looking forward to the new PvP thing that they
Yeah.
announced, where it's essentially, you know, all of your supers and grenades and so forth all get a extremely heightened recharge time. That's just going to be nuts.
Why does Oryx remind me of the guy from the devil from Fantasia?
It does in a way, yeah. It just doesn't
I was going to say
giant-
because you're that old, but okay.
Actually, I've never seen Fantasia.
But I got one last announcement from E3, and this one actually, it took a lot of people by surprise. Microsoft announced that the Xbox One will get a version of backwards compatibility.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's not true backwards compatibility. What you'll be able to do is take 360 games in chunks. And what I mean by in chunks is they're going to start out with a list of 100 games, and they're going to keep adding to it probably by the quarter, I would imagine. But what you'll be able to do is stick your 360 disc into your Xbox One, and it will create a download key so that they can get a version of the game that will play on your Xbox One. Not to pay for, just a new key so you can unlock the game for your Xbox One.
Gotcha.
Right now, the list of games is only 21, and some of the more major titles on it are Banjo-Kazooie, Hexic HD, Mass Effect, Perfect Dark Zero, Toy Soldiers, Viva Pinata, and Zuma. They expect to have 100 games available by the holiday season. However, games that require extra hardware accessories like Kinect or Rock Band style instruments are not really usable on the Xbox One, so older games like Rock Band, Dance Central, and Rocksmith will probably never be playable.
Oh, that's a shame.
It does mean you still... Well, that's for Xbox games. Remember, the announcement came for Rock Band 4, and they said you'll be able to use your legacy items for their game.
Really?
Yeah, you'll be able to use the instruments you've already purchased.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
That means I still have to replace my bass, though. The wire on that was breaking by the time the game actually went out of business.
But will it... Do they mean also the Pro Guitar, like the Pro Guitar and the keyboard, though?
They didn't elaborate on that. I have poked around the Rock Band website trying to understand more by what exactly they mean by legacy controllers, but they haven't expanded a whole lot yet. The only thing they've been very specific about is that any DLC you bought in the prior Rock Band games, you can immediately re-download for your current generation systems at no extra cost.
That's good.
So I'm betting that somewhere around the fall of this year, between Halo and Batman and Rock Band 4 coming out this October, I'm going to be both broke and unheard from. And with Rock Band coming out, that means I'll be unheard from for most people except for V, which means you'll probably find me online and we'll do stupid shit for a while.
Yes. But I need an Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to get one.
Oh, sounds like we found her trigger.
No, I mean, as soon as I heard that Rock Band 4 was coming out, I was like, okay, now I have to buy an Xbox One. Because of course they're not going to release it for the 360.
No, that's not going to happen. We do have a little bit of Marvel media news. We talk about the Marvel properties and projects that don't end up on comic book pages. There's actually been some expansion on Forbes.com about the rights to the Incredible Hulk when it comes to movies. And it expanded in such a way that it opened possibilities, but it revealed things I was not aware of. It turns out that Marvel did retain the movie rights to the Hulk as of about 2006. Okay?
All right.
The rights for the movies did revert to Marvel. What did not revert to Marvel and are currently retained by Universal are the distribution rights. So they can make a movie, however, they got to go through Universal and share the profits on the distribution of a film.
Okay.
That's probably why they haven't pulled the trigger on this, because that's kind of complicated. And the Hulk, while gaining in popularity, still has yet to make a movie that has technically made money. The best they've done is break even. So when you share that money among two companies, you're probably not going to break even unless you got a really good bona fide movie on your hands. That's very likely what's stopping this project from moving forward at this time. Also, in regards to Marvel movies, Fox has announced who the director of the Gambit movie for 2016 is going to be. They have picked Rupert Wyatt to direct the film.
Who's that?
I know that name.
If you've watched a lot of movies recently, you've probably heard his name, because his recent credit is Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's good.
It's a really good remake of the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Well, it's not really a remake, it's a reboot, really.
Yeah. It's a very different telling, and there's no plastic masks, so it helps a lot. It's not even that bad Tim Burton thing that happened in 2010.
Let us forget that happened.
I can't forget that happened. The scene of Michael Clark Duncan in silverback makeup is haunting me to the end of my days.
I have actually avoided it.
Deal.
I would recommend it, because as much as I've seen it and I remember particular things, I don't remember a whole lot. I have blocked that from my memory. It's probably repressed with a few sexual molestations I've suffered. Let's see, there were also documents that have come out in the Sony hack, once again, regarding Spider-Man. These are pissing people off, believe it or not. What happened was, when Sony was working on the Spider-Man films, they got a list of rules from Marvel regarding how they could use the character. Okay? When it comes to the character of Spider-Man, the rules are that the character must be male, Spider-Man does not torture, Spider-Man does not kill unless in defense of self or others, Spider-Man does not use foul language beyond PG-13, Spider-Man does not smoke tobacco, Spider-Man does not sell or distribute illegal drugs, Spider-Man does not have sex before the age of 16, and does not have sex with anyone below the age of 16. Spider-Man is not a homosexual unless Marvel has portrayed that alter ego as homosexual.
In other words, because there was one that they did.
I don't recall that there was a gay Spider-Man. But there was a separate set of rules that was set in regards to Peter Parker. Peter Parker's full name is Peter Benjamin Parker. Peter Parker is Caucasian and heterosexual. Peter Parker's parents become absent from his life during childhood. From the time his parents become absent, Peter Parker is raised by Aunt May and Uncle Ben in New York City. Peter Parker gains his powers while attending either middle school or college. Peter Parker gains his powers from being bitten by a spider. Peter Parker designs his first red and blue costume. The black costume is symbiotic and not designed by Peter Parker. Peter Parker is raised in a middle-class household in Queens, New York. Peter Parker attends or attended high school in Queens, New York, and he attends or attended college in New York City, New York. Those are the list of rules. Now, the website of Gawker, they took issue with the idea that Spider-Man can't be gay or black as they read the rules. However, if they actually paid attention to the rules, that's not what they said. They said that Spider-Man is not a homosexual. They never said that Spider-Man in these rules technically had to be Peter Parker. They just laid out a set of rules for what Peter Parker could be.
Right.
So, Gawker really got onto a soapbox without really thinking about what all was in the rules that was given to them. There's nothing in these rules that say that Spider-Man must be Peter Parker, if you take a look at it carefully. They just give 2 rules for what Spider-Man's allowed to be and what Peter Parker's allowed to be.
Right.
So, it's another case of calm the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
And last in the Marvel media news, the Fantastic Four went to Denny's.
What?
I am not shitting you. As of this Wednesday, Denny's announced itself as the official restaurant partner of 20th Century Fox's Fantastic Four movie. Denny's is going to be adding limited-time Slamtastic Four menu items based on the movie, with items such as the Human Torch Skillet, the Thing Burger, the Invisible Woman Slam. Okay, that last one sounds fucking horrible.
The Thing Burger sounds awful too.
Oh, it gets worse because you know what's on the Thing Burger?
What?
Thing sauce.
Thing sauce?
No!
Yes. Thing sauce. It has not been identified as to what's in Thing sauce. However, I imagine it's probably orange and gritty. Anything else you all are imagining, I leave that to you. I am not getting it.
You're an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I'm not the one that created the Slamtastic Four. However, to be fair, when I was younger, I probably thought about an Invisible Woman Slam. As far as DC media news, there was a little bit of news that came out just today. The CW may be looking into the idea of a Hawkgirl TV show.
Hawkgirl?
Yeah.
Hawkgirl is actually debuting the Legends of Tomorrow series, the Arrow and Flash spinoff that they've been advertising for a while. Now, the actress of Ciara Renee was cast as Kendra Saunders, who is Hawkgirl, and she's appearing in Legends of Tomorrow. There is a rumor going around right now that the CW is looking to expand their DC TV properties to a 4th hour involving Hawkgirl.
What would
what?
I was saying, would she be an alien or just a human with wings or what?
I think she's going to be a human with wings. I remember somebody saying that, mentioning in one of the promos for Legends of Tomorrow, a girl with wings and a past lives complex.
Oh, sounds like they're taking some weird Egyptian route.
Well, that's the thing, is that the origin of Hawkgirl, depending on the era, keeps changing. At some points, she is a metahuman with wings. At some points, she's a reincarnation of an Egyptian goddess or citizen from ancient times. At some points, she is the actual person from Egyptian times brought forward. At other points, she's a member of an alien race. It keeps shifting depending on what era you're talking about. So I will not guess as to which one it is. I will say, though, that if they were going for a female-led DC TV show, there might be some simpler properties to go with.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with Hawkgirl necessarily, but just in thinking about it, that
it complicates
that's
things.
one of those things. It's not exactly complicated, but I keep thinking like the appearance of Hawkman near the end of the Smallville TV run, and that was not great. That costume wing thing that they made the actor wear was not realistic in the least. So I don't know. I'd almost like to see a Starfire TV show before I see Hawkgirl.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen from various other shows that effects for wings are starting to get a little better.
Yeah, I'm not saying they aren't getting better. It's just it is stuff. It is stuff I'm trying to get through. Let me see. There's been some news about the season premiere, season 4 for Arrow.
Oh,
Stefan
really?
Armel is very big on responding to people on Twitter. It's also well known that Stephen Armel right now, he's on the set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's Casey Jones.
Yep. Somebody, remember we saw his Doctor Doom style mask?
Yeah.
Well, somebody asked him on Twitter what it was like to work with Sheamus on the set of the movie, and he said, quote, "I could talk wrestling with Sheamus for hours," unquote. Which sounds almost like a fanboy moment, but also sounds like a moment in a Turkish bath. Somebody asked him on Twitter if he and Grant Gustin would be hosting the CW DC panel at Comic-Con, His response was, quote, "Don't know if I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con," unquote. That's awfully non-committal. I always wonder about stuff like that. When people give cagey answers that are not a yes or a no, I generally think that means yes. Somebody asked him on Twitter whether Batman or Superman would win in a fight, and he responded with, quote, "Aquaman. Would you bet against Jason Momoa in a fight?" Unquote. Somebody asked him what superpower he want for Oliver Queen, and he said, quote, "He already has a superpower," unquote.
Which is?
Probably money.
Asshole.
He was going to get money. And somebody at the end of it asked him to describe the Arrow Season 4 premiere in 3 words, and his response was, quote, "What's wrong, Speedy?" unquote.
Oh.
Now, Speedy in this series, as I understand, is being played by the character of Thea, his little sister, correct?
Yep.
Okay, now people have started to speculate what that means, and there's a couple guesses. There is the idea that Thea may know who he is towards the end of last season.
Oh, she knows.
Yeah, she knows.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows now.
Yeah,
but the character of Speedy in DC Comics does not have a good history. There have been 2 of them. One of them was a young lady who developed HIV. She stayed a superhero for a while.
Unfortunately, I could see that happening to this character.
Yeah.
Okay, but the original Speedy, Roy Harper, in the comics, he had a heroin addiction.
Yep, heroin addiction.
I could
lost
see
an arm.
that happen too.
Had
Yeah,
a child.
so asking what's wrong, Speedy, is almost like asking, "Oh fuck, what now?"
The legacy title of Speedy is not a good one. And we're talking about, Batman who's had 5 different Robins now.
Well, look, Batman has... We've all talked about his weird little lolly fetish there. I'm not going to get back into that. But Armel also said during a recent Facebook Q&A, somebody asked him if there were any moments during reading the script for the Arrow Season 4 premiere that made his jaw drop. And his response really piqued some eyebrows. Quote, "It legitimately did. I emailed Mark Guggenheim directly after reading the Season 4 premiere with 3 or 4 very pointed questions, which he answered. Mostly," unquote. So it sounds like shit's going to get serious. But Arrow and both for the Arrow and Flash, there were announcements made about a Blu-ray release for their current seasons. Arrow Season 3 and Flash Season 1 both will drop into video stores on September 22nd, 2015.
Yeah, I'll probably pick up the Flash.
I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that DC may actually sell some of this while we're in San Diego.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Remember last year I talked about the fact that somebody was selling Disney Infinity 3 months before it came out in stores. So there is a chance this stuff will be there early.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, included in the Flash Season 1 DVD on the extra scenes, or extra footage, will be footage from the Flash's Comic-Con International debut at San Diego.
Oh.
The Arrow Season 3 DVD will include featurettes on the costumes, set pieces, and Nanda Parbat.
Who?
Nanda Parbat. I think it's a town or country in DC lore.
Oh, okay.
Viola Davis slowed down and talked with a couple people about Amanda Waller, who she's playing in the Suicide Squad. And she talked to Jimmy Kimmel on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Kimmel said that he didn't really know the character since he was a Marvel fan. Viola Davis responded with, quote, "She's supposed to be one of the main characters, one of the main villains. We're playing sociopaths," unquote.
She's a hardcore bitch.
Well, yeah, but think about who she has to work with all the time. She's always she's literally running a bunch of sociopaths and psychopaths.
Yep.
As far as the character, I should say. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect her to exactly be a hugger. Davis said matter-of-factly how Amanda Waller would fare against Superman. She said, quote, "Superman would quake in his tights," unquote. She's selling a movie. Give her a little bit of leeway there. She also showed off a couple battle wounds she got off on the set.
Really?
Yeah, she showed an injured pinky finger, quipping, quote, "I can't tell you what I was doing to get this wound, or else I'd have to kill you," unquote. Almost sounds like she's having a little trouble leaving the character behind. Last up in DC media news, remember a while ago they released a special graphic novel, a one-off of Teen Titans Earth 1. It was an alternate retelling of some of the Teen Titans. They're actually releasing some 7-inch scale action figures for it.
Really?
Yeah, they look fairly interesting. The version of Starfire I had not seen before. I'm almost surprised they didn't try to adapt this into the regular DC universe, because this is the most clothes I've ever seen on this character. The Native American Raven looks interesting. The Beast Boy's not bad. I gotta ask, though, the Cyborg, was he a Kid and Play fan in this universe? Because he has a high-top fade that's all metal there. I wish I could say I was necessarily joking, but he does look like he could do a couple kickflips.
Yeah, I don't know. That does amuse me, though.
Maybe they crossed him with the leader from Marvel Comics or something. That is a high forehead.
Not tall enough.
You don't think so?
No. Not for the leader.
I don't want to get into who's bigger conversation right now. That would not go well. He does remind me a little bit of Hammerhead. Wonder who the Nail is. We do have some general media news. We talk about the media properties that aren't necessarily Marvel or DC, but are geek-based. I can say at the beginning of general media news, the Avengers have been defeated.
Wow.
The title for biggest opening weekend of all time now goes to Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I saw it.
I have not. I don't really have an interest.
I loved it.
I don't begrudge people who want to see it. It's just, when I saw the ads, my first thought was, my God. So we've had 3 stabs at putting dinosaurs together with human beings or making a theme park. 3 of them have gone bad. Who thought the 4th would be the charm?
It's 20 years later, too.
Yeah, humans have gotten no smarter. But their opening weekend, Jurassic World, made $208.8 million.
Yeah.
That beat the Avengers mark by over $1 million. Avengers came in at $207.4 million.
Just inched across the line.
It's still their line, though. They earned it.
Chris Pratt is hot.
I think we've heard that from you a couple times.
And apparently he just turned 36.
Or actually, it's more like we hear squeak.
Yeah. The redhead was super hot, too, though.
Okay, that I have not heard. Wow. I had images for you that I wanted to share, but I no longer have them. There were some leaked images that came out this week of what Carrie Fisher was going to look like in her costume as Princess Leia for Star Wars The Force Awakens.
I've actually seen those.
The studios found them and removed them.
I've seen those.
I mean, I've seen them too. I just didn't expect the studio to be that quick about it. They apparently bought the hammer and they brought it fast. And sure enough, running an image search right now through Google is yielding nothing. Disney got to work and they did it.
It was out there for at least a day.
Well, yeah, it was out there for a day, but I generally don't save these things as they go. You know, usually the internet has a good memory. However, Disney has better wallets than the internet, I guess. So, if you didn't see the images, they are gone, gone, gone. However, there is a report when it comes to the spin-off film, Rogue One. According to Variety, Forrest Whitaker is currently in negotiations to join the cast of Rogue One. The Star Wars Rogue One spin-off revolves around the spies who actually stole the plan for the Death Star that Princess Leia had during the first trilogy.
Oh, that's interesting.
You think that's why the name Rogue Squadron keeps getting played out? Because these guys gave their lives up to get the plans?
Conceivable.
But Whitaker would join the cast, which already includes actors Riz Ahmed, Ben Mendelsohn, Diego Luna, and Felicity Jones. This movie is due out December 16th of next year. I hope they start filming soon, then.
Yeah.
Also, according to Variety, actor Jack Houston, he has decided to leave the revival of The Crow. He noted scheduling conflicts, so that leaves the role of The Crow, Eric Draven, as completely vacant right now. The studio supposedly is going to a backup plan that may include Nicholas Hoult or Jack O'Connell as a replacement. That's one of those remakes I keep hearing about and I keep forgetting it's actually occurring.
Yeah, I never really got through the second Crow movie, so I don't know if I'm even close to being excited about this, but we'll see.
I think this new movie is a remake, though. I don't think it's a continuation. However, one of the doctors is actually getting more and more work, it seems like, as he gets older. David Tennant is staying very busy lately.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Isn't he the Purple Man?
Yeah, he is Kilgrave the Purple Man in the upcoming Jessica Jones series, which does come out in 3 months here. Actually, I wonder if there's going to be any previews where we're going to go soon. Oh, well, I'll leave that thought for now. Because this actually has nothing to do with that. David Tennant has joined the animated adaptation of the comic book Chew.
What is
Chew is a very interesting story about a detective who gains psychic insight into crimes by eating the evidence.
Oh.
Huh?
So, like iZombie, but different?
Yeah, sort of like a cop with pica. It doesn't say who he's... Oh, actually, Tennant's going to play Mason Savoy, who is the mentor of the detective whose name is Chew. I think he's Chinese. He's the mentor turned villain, a role that was supposed to be voiced by Robin Williams. He has to step into Robin Williams' shoes on this project.
Oh, man, no pressure.
That's some big
Right?
shoes.
Are you kidding? He's also joining a cast that already has Stephen Yuen as Chew and Felicia Day as an unnamed role in the series. This is going to be nerd heaven. Let's just hope he doesn't come in with a fake genie accent, man. That would kill people. AMC has released a 30-second teaser video for the new Walking Dead spin-off, Fear the Walking Dead. I took a look at it, and it sets an interesting stage without actually seeing anything. It's only 30 seconds long. And I sent it. And logo. This is supposed to be a character in the series called Nick. And the series is supposed to center around the very early days of the outbreak.
Listen to that bass.
Eh, not exactly dubstep. I'll say this, he does look scared shitless.
Yeah, it's doing a good job of being scared.
Yeah. And if this is the early days of the outbreak, this is back when the zombies would all have a lot of meat on their bones still. I'm still curious about it. They do good storytelling in the series in general. Norman Reedus, though, the guy who plays Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead, he actually killed a rumor.
Yeah?
Yeah, there have been several pictures of him and Emily Kinney, who played Beth on The Walking Dead, being very chummy at social events. You know, she hugged him a lot and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the rumor started to circulate that the two were dating. Well, this all started because of Us Weekly, who alleged that the 46-year-old Norman Reedus was dating Kinney, who I believe right now is like 22. And so he decided to share a new Twitter photo to try and stop this whole thing. He tweeted this out with the caption of "New Couple Alert." And when you see the photo, you'll understand why it's fucking laughable. There you go. So for those who don't know what happens, Reedus is sitting behind a man holding up a Miller Lite tall can, and the man just happens to be a very aged and dyed-haired Arnold Schwarzenegger. This had the caption, according to his Twitter, of "New Couple Alert." In other words, this is Reedus' way of saying, don't assume every photo means I'm dating someone in it, please. That's one way to tell the internet no.
Tell them to come the fuck down.
Yeah. There's also a group of photos that have come out on Twitter from the set of a new Ghostbusters film. Remember the female-led Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Catherine Trendacosta?
Yeah.
And, a lady named McKinnon. I forget what her first name is. Kate McKinnon. Take a look at these images that all came from the set of their filming. It appears that Kristen Wiig, instead of playing the wacky friend, is playing the straight woman of the set. Looks like she's going to be the most normal one. McKinnon looks like... I don't know. I don't know who she's supposed to be. I'm guessing she's supposed to be the eccentric one. Well, she looks like she stepped right out of painting some kind of weird modern nude art or something.
Right?
And oddly enough, the most dour one is Melissa McCarthy in that weird sweater. And what's that thing she's carrying? Anybody? It looks like it
I think it's one of those traps.
doesn't look like the prior ones. They either redesigned it or it looks like she just robbed a safety deposit box.
Looks more like a hard drive, actually.
Yeah. That'd be weird if she had to play the Egon in this crew. Ron Perlman's been making a lot of noise lately. He has displayed a lot of interest, even though it goes right against other comments he's made about making Hellboy 3. He told Digital Spy he'd like it to happen sooner rather than later. He said, quote, "I'm getting to that age where if I wait any longer, Hellboy 3 will be performed out of a wheelchair." He also admitted that he was surprised a fan response to his call for Hellboy 3 on Twitter, saying, quote, "It started off a week's worth of incredible enthusiasm and feedback and passion, which kind of surprised and humbled me," unquote. I guess he didn't think there was that much interest in revisiting the character. He was also asked about the possibility of crowdfunding the sequel, and he said, quote, "I wouldn't want to be involved in any crowdfunding. I don't think it's the fans' job to fund the movie. I think it's up to the people who do it professionally. I think it's the fans' job to sit back, buy popcorn and Coke, and watch the movie and enjoy it," unquote.
Amen.
He also dropped hints as a potential plot of the sequel. He said, quote, "I know Hellboy 3 was designed to resolve the dilemma of whether the Beast of Apocalypse would live up to his oracle, his destiny of destroying mankind, or whether the best that we've seen nurtured all these years, who's taken his immense superpower and used it the opposite way to protect mankind. Which one will win out? The destiny part of it is unnegotiable and irreversible, so something rather dramatic has to happen in the third movie to find out which Hellboy prevails," unquote. Oh, fuck you, take my money. I like that idea. I like it. It sounds cool. Also heard from Matthew Vaughn this week. He has a plan to try to revitalize the Kick-Ass series of movies with a prequel. He's not just working on a Kick-Ass 3, he's also working on a prequel movie.
How would that work?
Well, the prequel movie would be the origin story of Big Daddy and Hit Girl.
Oh.
He told Yahoo, quote, "We're working on an idea for a prequel of how did Hit Girl and Big Daddy become Hit Girl and Big Daddy. If we make that, hopefully that will be the sorbet for people that didn't like Kick-Ass 2, and then we can go off and make Kick-Ass 3. I think we've got to do this prequel to regain the love that we had with Kick-Ass," unquote. It's an interesting way to at least attack the problem.
I haven't actually seen Kick-Ass 2.
I haven't either.
Yeah, me either.
I liked it, but I didn't expect much from it. Last I've gotten general media news. An older sci-fi actor has been calling for a series for a while, and it appears he wants to find backers for his proposal of a Captain Worf series, and that's Michael Dorn.
Captain Worf series.
Yes. The story, as he's proposed it, would take place after the events of Deep Space Nine, but before the Next Generation movie Star Trek Nemesis. The plot would revolve around Captain Worf with no allegiance to either Starfleet or the Klingon Empire, trying to help usher his people and culture into a new future. A future in which humans and Starfleet officers have been integrated into Klingon society. Dorn went on to tell Spinoff Online, quote, "One of the things that I came up with was, in the Klingon universe that I created in this particular story, there are going to be Starfleet people. All other kinds of races that are in the Klingon culture because they have to move forward. They can't be in this seated community anymore, or sealed community anymore. And so there's a lot of different races. And one of the things I said was, what if Worf didn't have a Klingon uniform, didn't have a Starfleet uniform, but he had his own uniform? To me, that's a great idea. I like the idea and it's worth fighting for. And it's a small thing in terms in the world that I've written. I think it's good. I think you've got to fight for that. We're going to try not to put the timeline in any place in particular. We're just going to say it's in the future, starting from Deep Space Nine on. It doesn't have to be our time or their time, but it's just the next years after that. So that's where it's at. And it's not a secret. I mean, the script's out there. But basically, Worf has never been one that looks war, power, doesn't look to be the head of the Klingon Empire or anything like that. He's a soldier, and he's learning. He loves that part of it. What's happening is that there is a small war going on, and Worf believes that it's not just about the war, it's about something else. And he's been around quite long enough to know that his feelings, his gut reactions, are almost perfect. Whenever he feels something, there's actually something going on. So he's just basically trying to figure out what's happening, and why he wants to prevent it, if it's not in the Klingons' best interests, unquote. He actually had quite a fucking bit to say there. Early opinions?
I'm loosely interested.
Yeah. I've never liked Klingons. Like, I really don't like them. I've never liked Worf. I liked him better in Deep Space Nine, but...
I like the concept, though. It's interesting, the idea of such a closed-in society trying to become, I don't want to say multiracial, but multi-ethnic. It's almost like the Federation from the standpoint of the Soviet Union, for fuck's sake.
Right.
And he went on to say there's a few characters he'd like to see back for the series. He'd like to see Marina Sirtis come back as Deanna Troi.
Oh, that'd be great.
He'd also like to see Nana Visitor come back as Kira Nerys in the series.
Both excellent characters.
Well, apparently also Rosario Dawson, who was in Daredevil recently as the night nurse, said she'd be interested in joining the series.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's unexpected.
Yeah.
Dorn thinks that his script and storyline could play out to 5 seasons of 12 or 13 episodes to tell the story.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, his next step in his idea is to film a sizzle reel so he can start shopping it around for potential backers. Actually, I kind of like this idea on a whole. It sounds like a very different type of idea. My only question is, if it's in the Klingon Empire, what kind of ships will there be? Because the Klingons were kind of notorious for flying rust buckets.
Yeah.
Well, they had their newer ships, too.
They mostly stole all their ships from the Romulans.
Let's see. From there, we will jump into Marvel comic news. We'll talk about Marvel properties or Marvel comics, I should say, that are upcoming and current storylines. Marvel has dropped a bomb this week. As of today, the 21st of June, they have announced that after Secret Wars, there will be a Spider-Man series starring Miles Morales. It appears that Peter Parker is taking a backseat role when it comes to the life of Spider-Man, and Miles will be the Spider-Man for the future of Marvel. At least in the present. Goodness knows what happens when writing happens.
Maybe he could stay married.
Miles Morales?
No,
he's black.
Peter
That
Parker.
can't happen. Oh, okay. That's even more challenging at this point. Now, some people have actually discussed why it seems like Marvel tries to add diversity into their characters via existing properties. You know, there have been arguments by some people on the internet who just say, why don't you make original characters instead? I spent a little time thinking about it. My best guess in that respect is a lot of minority original characters have never been received well no matter where they come from. Think about characters like Rage and Night Thrasher from the New Warriors. They were swept under the rug fairly quickly. You know, even some newer characters that were original became big not because of being a minority, but just because hopefully they were well written, like Jubilee. In the case of Miles Morales, yeah, it may seem a little bit of a cop-out to put a half-black, half-Hispanic man behind the Spider-Man costume, but it's also the easiest way to build up his notoriety pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. And wasn't he well received when he took the mantle?
It was polarizing. There was a bunch of people who did say Spider-Man can't be black, and there was a bunch of others who just kind of screamed, well, thank God we finally got a major black superhero. Nobody just sat down and read the fucking comic to see if it was good.
Yeah.
That came later. Not only that, in Marvel's future, there was another teaser released. And all it says on it is, I've returned, and the name of what appears to be an artist, Ariel Olivetti. The thing is, though, when you see the image, you'll understand what it means when it says, I've returned.
Okay.
Take a look at this symbology.
Who's wearing it?
That's the question. The symbol is the black and white Spider-Man symbol, which has been made famous in 2 different respects. 1, it was the symbol that Spider-Man used on his black costume. 2, it was the symbol that was kept by his symbiotic costume when it started to graft itself onto sociopaths. And turned into Venom. So,
okay.
The best guess I got, Jesse, and I know you're a fan of the Flash Thompson version of this character, if Miles Morales is going to be Spider-Man, what greater headfuck could there be than to deal with one of Spider-Man's worst villains, Eddie Brock, come back as Venom, but Venom has to deal with the idea that there's a new Spider-Man that he doesn't intrinsically know the identity of. Wouldn't that be frustrating?
Oh, that would be interesting.
It would be, but I think going back to Eddie Brock is just going backward.
It's the character a lot of people know, though. I mean, Flash Thompson is interesting as a hero, but you also lose one of Spider-Man's greatest villains. And then Matt Gargan as Venom was notable, but not really that interesting. So going back to Eddie Brock, I think is a natural progression. Besides which, you're trying to create a jump-on point for people.
I suppose.
Speaking of jump-on point, they finally announced that the last issue of Hawkeye is finally coming the fuck out. It's been delayed for about 4, 5, maybe 6 months.
Damn.
The last issue of this, the Matt Fraction run, Hawkeye number 22, is expected to come out in stores now July 15th. God, that took forever, and that was such a good series, too. I don't even know when it was originally supposed to be released, but I know we read a story like 3 months ago where they kept delaying the last issue of this fucking series.
Any reason why they're discontinuing it?
I think Matt Fraction is just running on to different projects. A lot of Matt Fraction books, he has this very unique writing style, so instead of adding another writer, they just tend to end his books, not because of low sales, but just because it's a hard act to follow.
Yeah, okay.
And last in Marvel comic news, we finally got a little bit of information about one of the Secret Wars tie-in that's called Siege. Siege is a story of the characters who are left at the Shield Wall to try and defend Battleworld from the 3 uninhabitable zones at its southern end.
Mm-hmm.
They finally released a character list. This sounds like a motley fucking crew of characters, I swear to God. You have the Infinite Summers, who are a bunch of Scott Summers clones from Mr. Sinister's land.
What?
Oh, crap.
Yeah. But on top of that, you have Kate Bishop from the world of 1602. You have Leonardo da Vinci with 6 arms, known as the Vitruvian Man. You have Miss America from A-Force and the Young Avengers. You also have, get this, Abigail Brand from S.W.O.R.D.
Okay.
The leader of the S.W.O.R.D. operation. And you also have a... somebody from Journey to Mystery, Leah Hellmaiden, who was hunting a young Loki. She's another Asgardian who developed some serious powers of her own. And believe it or not, according to this list, Kang the Conqueror.
Really?
Really. Question is, which Kang the Conqueror? Because that mask has been worn by a few different characters.
Yeah.
So this is a crew of people whose job it is to maintain the source wall and defend it from all the things outside.
Well, I'm assuming they have a lot of Scott Summers clones.
The funny thing is, the writer of this particular series, Kieran Gillen, he described his work and he put it in a context Steve is going to understand. Because Kieran Gillen worked on another series. In regards to his work, he said, quote, Next Wave was a love song to the Marvel Universe. Yeah, he said, Next Wave was a love song to the Marvel Universe. Specifically, Walking on Sunshine. Siege is more like Hey Ya by Outkast, unquote.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you got my curiosity on that. I don't even know how to visualize that comparison. But from there we will bump on to the DC comic news. And like I said, if you've noticed that the comic news is kind of light, we are 2.5 weeks out from Comic-Con. There's going to be a lot of people holding their best secrets for the next 20 days. However, we'll push forward with what we got because we have a lot of general Comic-Con news coming up. When it comes to DC, they've redesigned Livewire to add her into the current Batgirl series by Babs Starr. Yeah, actually, they showed off a couple designs they tried for the character, and if this top image from the gallery is any indication, I kind of like it. It definitely brought Livewire into the current century. If I remember correctly, Livewire is a character that was created initially in the Superman animated series.
Yeah.
The gratuitous lightning bolt cleavage I'm not that much of a fan of, but the overall design of the costume I do like. Including the haircut.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
she
as I
also-
remember, she was supposed to be a rocker type.
No, in the actual show, animated show, she was a radio personality.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
They
right.
used the joke shock jock quite a few times. I don't know. I mean, the most of the variations they seem to try were all come down to the same basic thing. I didn't necessarily like the long dress, and the the one with all the fish netting on it wasn't quite great. But the image they appear to have settled on with the shoulder guards and the thigh-high boots, I think is pretty good. I've been meaning to pick up some Batgirl series, or the current Batgirl run. I've heard a lot of great things about it. And the only other DC comic news I have is that a legendary writer named Garth Ennis is returning to the Hitman universe with a new series for DC called All-Star Section 8. It's created by the team of Garth Ennis and John McCrea. Section 8 is made up of oddball characters made popular by the comic book Hitman. The lead character of that comic, called the Hitman, died at the end of the series along with most of his teammates. But Section 8 itself is reforming, being led by a surviving member called Six-Pack, and a ragtag band of heroes like Dog Wielder, who uses a blowtorch to weld dogs to people.
What?
And that's what it says here. And Guts, who is basically just a set of internal organs existing outside her body.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, not for me. Not for me.
Well, it looks like the character is Six-Pack. I thought that was some stomach joke. No, it appears he's a drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at an image here. I don't know how current it is. Six-Pack appears to be a drunk. There's some character named Shakes, who it looks like is a living vibrator, but is also suffering from meth addiction. Friendly Fire, who I'm not sure what's going on in the picture. He's either shooting himself in the head or he's trying to shoot something else. There's a character of Dog Welder, which I don't quite understand in general. That sounds horrible. Flem Gem, some guy who's just hocking up a big loogie. Bueno Excelente, who looks like a fat, naked luchador. The Defenestrator, I'm not even going to guess. And it looks like a Batroc.
The Defenestrator? That's actually an awesome name.
Yeah, it is.
And the last one is a guy who looks like a red and black version of a French mime called Jean de Botton. He looks like a Batroc the Leaper joke. I'm not sure what to think of this now. I can't even say I would necessarily pick it up. It has a bit of my curiosity, but it also has a bit of my disgust.
Yeah.
Okay, from there we'll move on to general comic and convention news. We talk about the items that are not Marvel and DC related, and since we do end up going to conventions as part of assignments, we cover that in this section as well. Udon has updated their list as far as Comic-Con exclusives. There is one here I might actually fight somebody for.
Oh?
Yeah, they have an artist named Ackerman, okay? You know who that is?
No.
No.
Ackerman did the original character designs for Street Fighter 2.
Oh.
He's the one who did all the art you saw on the side of the cabinets back in the day, okay?
Nice.
No, you don't understand. He's coming to Comic-Con.
Whoa.
He's coming to Comic-Con, and they're also selling a book, a very limited edition book titled SF25, which reprints all of his original character art from the game. It's limited to 200 copies, okay?
Wow.
And fans that purchase this will be guaranteed the opportunity to meet Akamon for autographs.
Nice.
Wow, you might just be a wrecking ball just to get to that.
Yeah, also, people who do that, people who buy one of those will have a chance to win a one-of-a-kind original drawing of Chun-Li on a Japanese signing board by Akamon.
Nice.
Fuck Wrecking Ball, dude. If I find out that is anywhere near my person, call me the fucking Juggernaut. Because that is the most unique thing I have ever heard of when it comes to getting a signature. A limited edition book of only 200 print. And then you get it autographed. And then you get a chance to meet the guy who put everything in that book. No, fuck you. Don't take my money, because I'm taking lives to get to this shit. It was also announced that at Comic-Con, Warner Brothers is going to show the Supergirl pilot episode that is leaked online, probably in an attempt to head that off. And they're also going to preview the first episode of the Vixen TV series. I'm sorry, not TV series, animated series. They created a new Vixen cartoon.
Oh.
I'm kind of of a mixed mind about that.
Yeah.
Vixen is a decent character, but I never really thought she could carry her own series. And it looks like this Vixen animated is supposed to be loosely set in the same universe as Arrow and Flash. This whole thing is happening on what they call Superhero Saturday Night at 8 p.m. in Hall H on Saturday, July 11th.
Yeah, good luck getting in there.
I don't know. It's an evening panel. That's kind of the double-edged sword. An evening panel, that means a lot of the casual people have gone away. An evening panel means the hardcore ones are probably going to step on you to get to this.
Yeah. The hardcore ones are the ones I'm worried about. You suppose that's why they call it Hall H?
I thought it had to do with preparation, as in this makes my asshole hurt. It's also been confirmed by Jesse Eisenberg. He's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. The man that has been cast as Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is coming to Comic-Con to take part in a panel.
Really?
Yeah, he told somebody in response to Collider, quote, "I'll be there. I think I'm there the hour I'm on the stage," unquote.
Mer?
There's only 2 or 3 stages to be had in Comic-Con, and usually when you say you're on the stage, that means you're in the Hall H stage.
Gotcha.
Which means you're also going to be helping to... You're appearing in one of the biggest panels in the convention. Hall H is 1/8 of the entire convention center that's being used just for a panel room. A panel room.
And there are people that will spend days out there just to get in there.
Yeah, that's the reason why Comic-Con has a standing rule now that you cannot start lining up for Hall H until the Tuesday before the convention. If you try to line up before the Tuesday ahead of the convention, they'll kick you out.
It boggles my mind that they have to institute such a rule.
I've seen the pictures. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And we've also seen the Figuarts figures. You know, they create the psychotic versions of Marvel and DC heroes. They're coming out with an exclusive for Comic-Con.
Which one?
Oh, it's by Tamashii Nations, and it is not anything you're thinking of.
Anime?
Yeah. Think anime coming out soon. I sent you the image. This will be at booth 3545.
Oh.
Yep, the Figuarts that are in discussion are Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And they have the Go symbols on the gi, the original symbols, instead of the ones he gained after 3 resurrections. Known from... Oh, this thing is going to go fast. You know how much it is?
How much?
$45. $45, that's it.
I am
not
a big enough Dragon Ball Z fan for this.
I'm not a big enough fan. I didn't say I'm going to get it, but when it comes to the fully articulated action figures, that's cheap.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hot item. ABC has announced that they'll be doing a panel that combines Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, and the Muppets.
Nice. Wait, why the Muppets?
Oh, I would ask you, why not the Muppets?
Where?
Fair
when?
enough.
Can I go?
Where and when? I like that. Just where and when. I want to know when it is so I can block out that time. ABC hasn't unveiled their complete panel lineup, so we don't have an exact time or date yet. We just know that this panel will involve, apparently... Oh, wait, sorry. TV Line is reporting that Marvel Television is hosting a panel on Friday, July 10th at 3 p.m. in Ballroom 20, second biggest panel room at Comic-Con. That's supposed to be between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter. Jeff Loeb, Marvel's head of TV, will be there, along with executive producers Jed Whedon, Marissa Tanchuran, and Jeff Bell. And also listed to appear in this panel, get a pencil, Clark Gregg, Ming-Na Wen, Brett Dalton, Chloe Bennett, Ian DeKestecker, Elizabeth Henstridge, Henry Simmons, Adrian Palicki, Nick Blood, and Luke Mitchell.
So basically all of them.
All the surviving cast members are going to be at this panel. And if that wasn't bad enough, on the end of Agent Carter, the executive producer Tara Butters and Michelle Fizekis will be there, as well as Chris Dingus and Louis D'Esposito, and James Darcy and Haley Atwell herself.
Nice.
I think V just went to fangasm.
Yes, I'm just picturing meeting Brett Dalton.
You're not picturing meeting Brett Dalton. You're picturing meeting Brett Dalton.
Hey, your words, not mine.
You're not
I told you a no. And Walker Stalker Fan Fest has announced that they will be taking over a section of Petco Park again. A small video was released because they're, in addition to everything going on at Walker Stalker Fan Fest, they're having a Walking Dead VR experience. Not only that, the Fan Fest is included in the price of admission. Wow, I wonder what they mean by virtual experience, though. Oh shit, now I have an idea what they mean by virtual experience. I found a video!
Oh, share.
Okay, open window. Do fancy technical stuff. I sent it.
All this shit.
Mature, blood, drug reference, intense violence, strong language, suggestive themes. Have you seen the fucking series, dude? Okay, this is obviously some version of the Walking Dead escape here. That does not look virtual. Actually, I wonder if any of this is scenes from the new show. Wow, if only they took over. Yeah, if you took over San Diego like this, man, the fanboys would come screaming.
Right?
That's Washington, D.C. Okay, I think we're starting to get into the virtual section here.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that a veterinary office?
Looks like a doctor's office.
Clinic.
I saw a bunch of animal posters.
Yeah, that's, make things more homey and so forth.
Yep. Oh wait, you're holding a gun.
This is the virtual experience. Oh, wow. Man, can you imagine this on your head? This is taking over your sensory experience?
Yeah.
Fucking wild. And we actually get to take part in that in this coming trip we're taking.
Sweet. You can make another runner jump out of their skin?
No, you're gonna do it.
Are you serious?
I was like,
I have to ask.
I told you I'm not doing it this year. It's somebody else's turn. No repeats, dude.
I thought we agreed V was going to do it.
We agreed V was going to be a walker if we could arrange it.
Yeah.
Why should I be a walker again?
Because I think you'd be the one most entertained doing it.
Fair enough.
Getting made up to be a zombie?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
There you go. Entertainment Earth has announced a couple more exclusives coming out for Comic-Con, including an actual Darth Vader action figure limited to is a 20-inch action figure for $60.
Wow.
It's a they call it a holographic 20-inch. It is a blue clear plastic Sith Lord with 7 points of articulation. It's not something I would necessarily want to own, but I have relatives who are major Star Wars fans. They might actually murder me if I didn't pick this up for them. One of which is actually going to Comic-Con. Take a look at this thing, man. It's not something I want to own, but it's nifty looking.
Huh.
What if Darth Vader was actually allowed to be a Jedi ghost?
And it glows.
Yes, it does.
I like.
But I'm actually more interested in something else you can get. It's $200 though. I have trouble with the idea of dropping $200 on anything. However, they're making a limited edition action figure of one of my favorite fucking movies ever. Look at this. I shit you not. A Big Lebowski dude action figure, 12 inches tall, comes with a bag, a bowling ball, the stupid telephone he had.
Oh, I have a friend I would get this for.
It even comes with a dude's rug.
Nice.
It comes with that fucking rug that was the impetus of the whole movie. Yeah, that's going to retail for $199.99.
Jesus.
Blizzard has their own exclusives coming out during Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
The one that got my attention the most, though, was they have another Pop figure coming out. It is a little bit bizarre. It is a Diablo Funko
Okay.
of Demonic Tyrael.
Demonic Tyrael?
Yeah, I'll send you this because it's a little hard for me to pull the image out from what I can see, but it's a Demonic Tyrael Funko. It's number 61 from Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, okay.
This is on top of other things that are already coming out, like a Murloc, a World of Warcraft Nexus Whelping plush for $25.
Murloc 3-pack.
Yep.
I like the backpack.
The Murloc egg backpack?
Yeah.
That's the cutest little bit of devastation you'll ever see.
Illidan Stormrage, you are not repaired.
Is that what it says?
No, it says you are not
That would
prepared.
have funny if it did say that.
There is an item that will cost quite a bit at $300. However, it's the kind of thing that does speak to the fan in me as much as it hurts. Factory Entertainment is making miniature recreations of Winterfell from Game of Thrones. I sent you guys a link so you can take a look.
Oh.
It is a $300 figure. It'll be at booth 2647 at Factory Entertainment. There is no word as to whether or not they're going to recreate any other mythical cities or kingdoms in Westeros. However, this item is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
I want it.
It doesn't say what the scale of it is, so I have no idea what the size of it is. At 300, it's got to be relatively sizable.
Yeah.
But you can even see the tower where Bran fell in the upper left there.
But you know what else would be cool? Like Marine or Bravos.
Well, like I said, there's no indication as to whether or not they're going to make any other cities from the series, but I'd be interested if they did.
I know. It would be great. I'd take Castle Black, too.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, Jesse, remember last year we walked by the Capcom booth? They had all those bizarre Mega Man exclusives?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, they had mini helmets last year for both Zero and Mega Man.
Right.
They're bringing another version of that to Comic-Con this year. When I say another version, I don't mean they've made a recasting necessarily, but they have recolored it to one of the power-up versions of Mega Man. You could use this as a substitute for maybe the Leaf Shield.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm a little disappointed that the life size behind it will not be coming to Comic-Con.
Are you talking about the little helmet on the stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little helmet, the mini
I got that
mini
in a
helmet
loot
is
crate.
coming to Comic-Con. What? Well, they've had
The green
several
one,
versions
exactly.
of it.
I got that one.
Oh,
there are 4
you got
colors.
that, really?
Yeah.
When we sell it the next Fanime?
I already gave it away to someone.
Bastard.
Yeah, but I got that months ago.
You should have kept it. Would have been worth something. It is a Comic-Con exclusive, after all.
Again, mine was
Dark-
Loot Crate exclusive.
Dark Horse has a couple of interesting limited edition items coming out for Comic-Con. They have a print of the Goon that's going for $25, limited edition 300. However, the second item here is more of at least Steve and Jesse's and my interest. This would cost $50, limited to only 400 editions of this particular item. And basically all I can say is, get on the Pelican.
What?
How much
Halo.
is this?
Nice.
That is a bronze recreation of a Halo Pelican on a stand, $50. This is at the Dark Horse booth.
Wow.
But Dark Horse has something for the V in our crew, too.
TARDIS?
This is also... no, this is also limited edition to 400. This costs $60, and it's a mini replica of an item from a famous TV show.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
You guys know what that is?
The helm,
I want it.
or the crown from
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's the crown of the king, Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, I couldn't have told you whose crown it was. I just knew it was from Game of Thrones.
Yep. It doesn't say what scale that is, but that's only $60, and it's a Comic-Con exclusive mini replica of the crown. Limited to 400. You can. I should mention that the Halo Pelican, you're only allowed to buy one of those per day. The Robert Baratheon crown, you're allowed to buy up to 2 of those per day. That's in addition to other exclusives that are just too numerous to go through.
I want
that's
all
a different
the
sound
things.
I've heard. That's a different sound I've heard from V. That's the same one.
Yeah, usually you hear V tuning up and about to orgasm. That's the sound post-orgasm.
Like, it's all done.
It's also been announced that Universal is hosting a panel on Heroes Reborn. Actually, it's going to be a panel for both Heroes Reborn and Grimm. It's going to take place Sunday, July 12th, 1:45 to 2:45 in Hall H. It's going to include cast members Greg Grunberg, Jack Coleman, Zachary Levi, Robbie Kay, Kiki Sukezane, Ryan Guzman, Gaitlin Green, Henry Zabrowski, Judith Shelconi, Danica Yarso, and Rhea Kildstedt, and the creator of the series, Tim Kring. They will present fans with an exclusive extended trailer in addition to the usual Q&A session. Grimm is going to have its own panel on 3 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. in Ballroom 20 on the same day. Looks like a lot of the cast is going to be there as well. So Universal's bringing their own shit. And we have another group of exclusives. Steve, remember when I nearly gave that Kotobukiya guy a heart attack?
Which time?
When I asked him if he could give us any hints as far as the Comic-Con
right,
exclusives coming up in a few months. Boy, you could see the syntax error coming as he tried to decide what to tell us. And all he would tell us was there was 3 exclusives coming in. At least one of them was Marvel and one of them was DC. Now we know what they are. The Marvel exclusive is a new version of one of their Deadpool statues that comes with a chimichanga and head pool. The DC exclusive is a first that I know of. It is a recreation of Alfred the Butler from the Batman series. I sent you guys a link so you can take a look at the pics.
I like the Alfred one.
I like the Deadpool eating a chimichanga while drawing a sword. You know my wife would kill me if I couldn't get that. But finally getting on to a little bit of general comic news, there is a multiverse that is developed in the most unusual fucking way. I never, ever, ever pictured the Masters of the Universe having a multiverse.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, in a recent apparent issue of the comic series, and I sent you an image, Skeletor goes on to talk about how he's seen several versions of himself, and he hopped from one reality to the next.
Huh. Ah. He even knows about his toy line.
Yeah. He's actually aware of the multiverse about him. He's even been in that crappy 1980s cartoon.
I like that he's aware of the toy line. That is nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, according to the list on IO9, the images from that particular panel involve Marvel's Skeletor, iPhone game Skeletor, 1983 and 2002 cartoon Skeletors, and the Skeletor action figure.
The one
looks
at
like
the
a
top.
game.
Like I said, there's an iPhone game.
Yeah.
So, in the current run of Masters
the movie.
Yeah. The current run of the Masters of the Universe, which is a DC comic book, they actually recognize that there is a multiverse to Masters of the Universe.
That's interesting.
Last bit of general comic news I have is that there is a merger going on between 2 smaller companies. Devil's Due Comics and First Comics are merging. Devil's Due I know a little bit about, but I don't have too many details on. First Comics, if I remember correctly, weren't they the ones that put out the Robotech comics back in the day?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, the new company is they're just merging, so they're being known as Devil's Due First Comics LLC. They're planning on publishing 6 original graphic novels and 5 new ongoing series by the end of 2015, in addition to reprinting several out-of-print books from their library. There's no word as to what list of out-of-print books are coming back. So we'll have to see what information they have. Maybe they'll have news at Comic-Con as well. And moving forward, we're going to talk about Anime Japan news. Since most of us are anime fans, we do have an interest in what news comes from across the Pacific Ocean. One Piece is now a Guinness World Record holder.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, the series has recently earned the accomplishment of the most copies published for the same comic series by a single author.
Huh.
The One Piece manga has managed to sell over 320,866,000 copies by the end of December 2014, with the original creator Eiichiro Oda apparently being so able he was even unable to attend his own award ceremony. He sent the Shonen Jump editor Yoshisha Heshi to accept it in his place. Wow. So yeah, One Piece is officially the longest running manga of all time.
Nice.
Or at least by a single creator, I should say.
Well, no, I think because I'm pretty sure some of their titles are still longer running. It's he's sold that many copies.
Yeah, most copies by a single creator.
Right. So he's the most prolific salesman.
Yeah. There is a 15-second trailer that has been released for the new Dragon Ball Z continuation series, Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Like I said, it's 15 seconds, and believe it or not, as little as I think of Dragon Ball, that's about as much content as in this trailer. It literally shows you almost nothing. I sent it. And it starts right into obnoxious music. Okay, he still goes blonde. Bunch of characters are here, and still punching and kicking. And that's about all we know.
That's why this show confuses me.
There are so many reasons why it confuses me.
Just to be clear, in case I haven't said this before, although I think I have, the only time I've seen Dragon Ball Z is through Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Yeah.
That's absolutely that's utterly fine. I can accept that. I really can.
Yeah.
I've had people on the Anime Expo fan page try and tell me that Dragon Ball is the greatest series of all time, and I said, well, I don't share that opinion. He said, well, you know what makes it the greatest of all time? Nostalgia. It's like,
no.
I don't have nostalgia for it. Everybody has nostalgia for it. No, not everybody has nostalgia for it. You have nostalgia for it if you love it and you want to see it continue. That's nostalgia. For me, it just creates bile. Well, you don't understand what nostalgia is. Okay, you're 12. I don't care.
You don't understand what nostalgia is.
Pretty much, yeah. Anybody who's seen this series has nostalgia. No, some of us just have a strong urge to go to the bathroom.
Well,
I am
looks
nostalgic
like one of
for
those...
Generation 1 Transformers, but...
Yeah, I have nostalgia for that as well. However, I can still admit Generation 1 Transformers as a cartoon was awful.
Right.
Much of everything we watched, in that time was kind of awful.
Yeah, I'm nostalgic for it. It was still shit.
Yeah, it looks like one of the images they have in there, it looks like Goten is possibly grown up. Either that or it's another version of Gohan. I'm unsure.
I don't know, and I admit I'm uninterested.
Yeah, neither am
I'll
I.
probably give it a shot.
Last bit of anime in Japan news I have is a poster was recently put up. And I want you to take a look at this. What do you think this is? Okay, so Jesse thinks it's a mad Rottweiler, apparently.
No, it's definitely an Attack on Titans, but...
Yeah,
is it for the live action, or...?
No, it's to say no on drugs.
Oh.
This is part of Tokyo's anti-drug propaganda that's being put up around the city.
Okay.
There's also a video that's going to appear on Japanese trains. Now, this poster says that you should say no to kikendoragu, or dangerous drugs. Specifically, they're talking about synthetic cannabis, spice, stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the usual terminology they use of dapodoragu, or legal high. However, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really give a shit if something that eats me tells me not to use drugs?
No.
No, but you probably give a shit that it's popular and you know it, and it's like, oh, okay.
I don't know. The thing that uses me as chewing gum, I probably don't care what he thinks about my drug habits.
Something reminded of Cartoon All-Stars.
Maybe so.
I still remember that shit.
Moving into nerd interest news. Being that we all are nerds, there are techie and interesting scientific achievements that don't necessarily fall into entertainment pantheons. During E3, there was actually a trailer that was produced for a new gaming mouse. Razer is introducing its new Mamba gaming mouse. It's a $150 mouse, supposed to be the most advanced gaming mouse ever created. Some people have been playing around with the website for this. It actually has programmable color LED lights. You can create over 1 million different color combinations across this mouse.
Oh, that's
okay,
nice.
That's purely cosmetic.
Probably, but you can also set the click intensity on it. In other words, it's pressure sensitive, and you can set it for the point where it actually activates the click sensors underneath.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can set it for your own preferences and fingers.
Well, and it's also, the more sensitive you set it to, the more clicks you can get.
Yep. And it glows with 16.8 million different color options. Holy shit. Wow, it's the disco of mice.
It's more bells and whistles.
Yeah, I don't game on my PC that often. I don't know if I'd need something like this, but hey.
All the LED
that's where people
stuff
play
is-
like StarCraft or some shit like that.
Yeah, all the LED stuff is not very interesting.
City of Titans comes out.
I don't know. The LED stuff is partially interesting to me, but however, I can't use it because being a male, I'm distracted by shiny and well-lit things. So I can't use this.
Or cartoons.
No, those don't distract me. Those entertain me. There's quite a difference. Speaking of a difference, there is a new story out on Gizmodo by Maddie Stone. And this isn't a story necessarily to us, but it's something that bears repeating because a lot of people get sucked into junk science. The whole idea that humans only use 10% of their brains is a fully debunked piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people will repeat that. If only we can unlock more of our brains. We have unlocked it, for fuck's sake.
Hell, Mythbusters have done it.
It was allegory.
Yeah, it's one of those things that neuroscientists keep, unfortunately, having to repeat. Pop culture is so into the idea that we just haven't used all of our brains. That's why we can't shoot things with our mind yet.
Well, the original way that came about was it was allegory. It was kind of a demonstration or a illustration of, yes, we do have more potential, but it's not, it's not the way that everybody else takes it. It's not, only 10% of our brain. No, it's more about processing power and processing speed.
Basically, someone way back when just grossly oversimplified it.
Yeah. Well, they used it as an illustration of a point they were trying to make, and then people have just been taking it wildly out of context ever since.
Yeah,
there was a group of neuroscientists that added electrodes to the brains of some human beings and creatures, and in the study, the researchers built an array of 108 electrodes to measure neural spikes across 2,700 cortical regions in 6 different functional compartments of the brains. Basically, what happened was when they were showed different stimuli, it was shown that all 6 major regions of the brain lit up in different orders. Depending on the stimuli, it determined how it processed. Certain areas of the brain are better at motor function, others are better when it comes to processing. A couple others are
memory.
To simplify it, more or less pattern recognition.
Yeah.
And depending on the stimuli, it just used different areas of the brain. However, all 6 areas were in use at all times during the stimuli. So stuff like Lucy, yeah, it may be fun to watch, but God, don't take it seriously.
No. Lucy was actually one of the ones that said, no, that's not. They straight up said, no, that the 10% of the brain thing, yeah, that's not
correct.
That's not correct.
There is a man named Alan Lewis who just may have become a nerd's best friend. He's been a long-term science fiction reader for all of his life. He built up a personal library of 18,000 volumes of science fiction.
Okay.
Which is impressive in and of itself. He just donated it all.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yep, the University of Iowa is getting it. Lewis had a collection of fanzines, science fiction magazines, and novels. He's donated it all to what the university calls the Hevelin Collection, which is already in the process of being digitized. Lewis also said that his collection fits in nicely with the university's existing holdings because most of the volumes have been published more recently, and most are signed.
Oh, he had signed versions?
Yep.
Damn.
I don't know why you donate that, man. You take that to an auction house.
I think he wants the collection to be in one piece.
Probably. However, there's somebody out there that would probably pay for it all in one good chunk. There's always eccentric collectors out there, or there's, the Dread Pirate Roberts who may just steal it from you, but that's neither here nor there. This nearly ended up in the what the fuck corner of news, because it made me sit up and ask what the fuck is going on here. You know how South Korea right now is having a problem with the MERS virus?
It is?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
They have about 1,000 people right now have been diagnosed currently with MERS.
Okay.
Well, in response to this problem, North Korea says that it has a cure for MERS, SARS, AIDS, and Ebola.
Oh, I skimmed this title.
I saw that.
Yeah, the Korean Central News Agency of North Korea, the official state news agency, says that their scientists have developed an injection called Kumdong-2 which is made from ginseng grown from fertilizer mixed with rare earth elements.
It's almost taking some classes in salesmanship.
This sounds like the stuff that made the Century. The drug was originally produced in 1996. According to the state news agency, they said, quote, malicious virus infections like SARS, Ebola, and MERS are diseases that are related to immune systems, so they can be easily treated by Kumdong-2 injection drug, which is a strong immune receiver, unquote. I have no idea how to take this, man. There's that small voice that says, well, maybe there's hope. Maybe they've actually found something. And then there's that large voice in my head that says, most of their computers seem to be made in 1976.
They're propagandists. That's what they are.
I know. It just sounds. It's one of those things that even as you read it in the news, you want to scream bullshit at the top of your lungs, but you hope beyond hope that maybe there's some truth to this. Yeah. However, I've seen the photos Kim Jong-un has taken, supposedly climbing a mountain with his clean shoes. So, that was just so bizarre to read. And let me see. Last in the nerd interest news, there is a one-of-a-kind Ferrari Testarossa that just went up for sale.
Why is it one-of-a-kind?
It was built in 1983 and was built to break a world speed record.
Oh!
The holder of the record was a 753 horsepower Mercedes Streamliner. This Ferrari low-tech is a twin-turbo flat 12 with slightly less horsepower. It says it has 750 horsepower at 4,000 RPM and 600 feet per foot, or 600 pound-foot of torque at 5,000 RPM.
Damn.
There is no word on how much this thing is expected to fetch, and I couldn't even guesstimate it. I will send you the link because I will say that as far as Ferraris go, it is one of the most unusual vehicles I've ever seen. Frankly, I almost expected it to be digitized and you could find it running around the game grid.
It almost looks like a damn Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you right now I'm probably laughing at myself because I'm overlaying the sound of the night, the theme to Knight Rider on this thing.
Oh, I hear it too.
So wow.
It looks like it's puckering up and getting ready to kiss somebody.
All it needs is a couple fins, and this is the new Batmobile.
Well, I'm slowly getting an image of Magnum P.I. driving this thing, damn it.
Magnum P.I. Midlife Crisis. It's a wild car, I'll give you that, but man, I couldn't see anybody driving that on any street I've ever heard of.
Oh, hell no.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
That's a showpiece.
Yeah, that would go right into Jay Leno's, airplane hangar of cars. Okay, we're going to move into our What the Fuck corner. We talk about the stories from across the internet that either in a happy format or an angry format and a sad format just make you go, the fuck happened here? Remember last week we talked about an interesting story where a lady was fooled into taking a picture of another woman with a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently a lot of strange things happen in railroad stations. This has to do with June 18th, 1934 at Brighton Railway Station. There was a strange odor coming from an unclaimed trunk in the cloakroom, so an attendant alerted the police. When they came and opened the suitcase, they found a torso. Okay. A woman's torso.
And nothing else.
Yeah, there were no other parts attached to it. However, the torso did have an extra part in it.
A child?
Whoever this was 5 months pregnant.
Ooh.
Her legs were found days later in another suitcase. This one was left at London's King Cross Station. It sounds like somebody was getting rid of a body piece by piece by just leaving unclaimed baggage in different stations.
Yeah.
The head never turned up.
Head's too identifiable.
Yeah. The pregnancy made some people suspect she died after a botched abortion, but nobody could prove it. It soon emerged that there was a mini epidemic of female bodies stuffed into luggage underway in this part of England.
Jack the Ripper?
And a search of the cloakroom in this station was kind of problematic because, how many attendants actually keep clean, clean storehouses of unclaimed luggage?
Yeah.
Apparently the infant's death was not intentional. Whoever killed the woman probably didn't know she was pregnant at the time. Now, what happened was A bright woman named Violet Kay, who worked as a dancer and a prostitute, was reported missing, and her boyfriend was a man named Tony Mancini, who was a likely suspect. The couple was known to have pretty vicious arguments. And when police searched Mancini's apartment, they found her remains stuffed into a trunk. Another weird coincidence in all this shit going on. Mancini admitted to putting his girlfriend in the trunk, but claimed he didn't kill her. She was already dead when he found her.
Then you call the fucking police.
Instead of keeping her in a trunk, right?
His excuse was he already had a criminal record, and he didn't want police thinking that, or he didn't think anybody would believe him if he said he didn't do it.
Well, to be fair,
I believe that, but
probably true.
This makes it worse.
Yeah, but that story also flew with the jury. He was found not guilty of the murder. However, over 40 years later, he confessed to the crime, but it was too late for him to face any charges.
Really? I didn't think there was a...
There's a statute of limitations, and you couldn't be retried.
I didn't think there was a statute of limitations on murder.
So maybe
not in the U.S., however, this is England.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha, okay.
They never found out who either woman in the mystery luggage was. The only clue to the train station victim identity was the word Ford scrawled on a piece of paper that was used to wrap the upper half. Nobody ever found out what it meant. There's probably not even enough evidence to go on at this point. It's not like there was a whole lot of ways to seal up a body at that period of time. Well, moving into a happier story. How would you respond if somebody hit your car with their car?
Not well.
I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
I don't mean driving, I mean like a sideswiping. You know, you just found out somebody hit your car.
Oh, no, I'd be furious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a man driving down a road in Maryland. He was blasting music, singing at the top of his lungs in a pickup truck, a large Ford pickup truck, okay? One of those things that usually says, I'm a large human being.
Or overcompensating.
Yeah, and the guy was singing loudly to himself with the music, pretty much having a one-man party, and then he heard a loud bang. And when he looked in his rear view, he saw that he sideswiped another truck that was parked in the street, and the side mirror was just destroyed.
Okay.
So the first thing this guy thought was, oh man, somebody's not going to be happy. So they flipped a U-turn and actually drove back to the scene.
Good for him.
And just as this guy got out of his truck, he saw somebody else coming up to the truck that was hit. And the man that pulled over said, "Sir, is this your truck?" And the guy stopped and stared at this guy for a good 5 seconds and started looking around his neighborhood like he didn't understand what was happening.
What?
Huh?
The guy whose truck was hit looked like he didn't understand, like he was being fooled somehow. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because the man who was apologizing profusely for hitting his truck goes by the name of Dwayne Johnson. So when Dwayne Johnson asked him, "Sir, is this your truck?" the guy stopped and stared at him for a good 5 seconds and started looking around, probably trying to figure out where the camera is. And he finally said, "Yes, it is. Why?"
I accidentally hit your truck.
Yeah, The Rock told him, quote, "Well, sorry to tell you, I sideswiped it and knocked the hell out of your mirror and may have done some more damage. Give me your info, I'll leave you mine, and I'll take care of everything," unquote.
Of course he will.
Okay, so the guy stared at him again, cocked his head sideways, and said, "Are you The Rock?"
Did he?
So Johnson said, "Yup," and the man suddenly broke out into a huge smile and said, "Oh, this is going to be an awesome story."
Yes.
So The Rock stayed, took selfies with him, they traded information, and do you want to know how this story resolved?
How did it truck?
The guy didn't even file a claim, he repaired it on his own. There's probably two reactions there. You know, either the guy was so starstruck and just happy that this guy stopped and actually talked to him for a little bit, or he looked at the size of this man and said, "Fuck, he's going to crush my skull. I'll fix it."
I'm actually leaning more towards the
former
on that one.
More than likely. Yeah. Have you ever wanted directions by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
No, but now that you mentioned it, that sounds intriguing.
The cell phone GPS app of Waze, you can get it on iPhone and Android. They actually have a cross-promotion going on with Terminator Genesis. You can change the voice of the woman that usually gives you directions to an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
I could see
Get
some
to the
people
in
using
and out.
People who use this voice will even be treated to customized Terminator-isms like, I'm looking for Sarah Connor, but I'll get you to your destination first.
All you
That
need to do
might-
is change the screen to, wash it red.
What would happen if you asked your phone, get me to the tumor? It's not a tumor.
Yeah, it's probably got Easter eggs in there too.
Probably a couple.
Get to the chopper.
I doubt it.
Come with me if you want to live.
Drive this way if you want to live.
Now, have you guys ever heard of another classic of Americana called The Great Imposter?
The what?
No.
The Great Imposter.
No.
No.
The man's name was Ferdinand Waldo Damara Jr. He lived for 60 years. He had an obituary in June 9th, 1982 in the New York Times. Get this. Quote, at times in his life, Mr. Damara lived as a Trappist monk, a doctor of psychology, a dean of philosophy at a small college in Pennsylvania, a law student, a zoology graduate, a career researcher, a teacher at a junior college in Maine, a surgeon in the Royal Canadian Navy, an assistant warden at a Texas prison, and a teacher in a Maine village. Already this man sounds like Christopher Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me continue the obituary. He often borrowed the names and credentials of living people.
Oh.
His exploits led to charges against him for fraud, forgery, theft, embezzlement, resisting arrest, vagrancy, and public drunkenness, unquote. Now you're probably asking, how the hell did he do all this? Turns out Mr. Damara was diagnosed with a high IQ and a photographic memory.
Oh, of course.
He was actually the focus of a book by Robert Crichton called The Great Imposter. He actually had an awkward phone call between himself and Robert Crichton. And the subject revealed everything and nothing when Damara first claims to be a saint and then blames rascality, pure rascality, for his actions.
Rascality? That's a
Yeah,
phrase?
in other words, if you had to translate in modern times, basically he said, why did you do all this? I'm an asshole. There was actually a film based on his exploits as well.
Catch Me If You Can?
No, it was a film called The Great Imposter starring Tony Curtis.
Huh.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can is actually different.
Somewhat of a different story. That all had to do with money embezzling, basically. This guy actually lived a lot of different lives. It's almost scary that people can do that. But going from rascality to probably pure dickishness, there's a man named John Hagman. Okay, he had a misconduct hearing with the Virginia Board of Medicine as of June 19th of this year. He didn't show up. Which sounds bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he probably didn't show up.
Dead?
Dead?
No, the students he taught as a medical students had accused him of abuse. Physical and sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They testified that Hagman subjected them to invasive medical procedures, bizarre drug and alcohol-fueled cognition experiments, and sexual assault.
So...
You threw them a
Is
party?
Dr. House?
Sort of. His medical license was suspended back in March, but the techniques he used to train military personnel in battlefield medicine through his own company, Deployment Medicine International, had been getting criticism for a while. According to the filings, quote, in 2005, for instance, the commander of U.S. Special Forces became so alarmed by what his aides observed during one of Hagman's training courses that the commander ordered all such private training halted, and according to interviews and military documents reviewed by writers, in his order, General Byron Brown wrote that aides witnessed potentially hazardous physiological demonstrations performed on U.S. troops. Not long afterwards, a Navy captain banned Hagman from his base, disturbed that the doctor was giving drugs to some trainees that other students could observe the effects. I refused to let him in my facility, said Efren Sains, a now retired Navy officer who led a field medical training battalion at Camp Johnson from 2006 to 2009, unquote. He would remove blood from students to induce shock and had students participate in what he called cognition labs. They were asked to drink large quantities of alcohol before attempting cognitive tests. in some of these labs, he also dosed his students with ketamine. Everybody knows what ketamine is?
Yeah. Tranquilizer, I think.
Yeah, some people use it to get high. He also subjected some intoxicated students to penile nerve blocks.
Ooh.
What?
Ugh.
I don't want to know more about that.
It actually does get weirder. A student who took a 2013 course reported that after becoming intoxicated, he was invited to a private late-night exam of his penis, testicles, and prostate.
Mm-hmm.
Hartman said the exam was to look for abnormalities because the student's course partner had found it hard to catheterize him. Why the fuck was his partner trying to catheterize him?
This guy's a freak.
According to the Board of Medicine report, quote, the patient later stated to a Uniformed Services University investigating officer that the rectal exam took longer than expected and made me feel uncomfortable, adding that Dr. Hagman later asked if the patient wanted to perform a digital rectal exam on him, unquote.
Alright, this man's got issues.
Gets even weirder. Another student, after they were drunk, was asked to perform a pelvic trauma examination on Hagman, including a penile and rectal exam. Hagman asked to examine and manipulate the student's foreskin. And Hagman recorded all this on videotape, as he said, for training purposes.
Uh-huh.
So far as anybody knows, those videos have not been used for course material. Okay, so the state board unanimously revoked his medical license. Where's the DA? Where's the district attorney? Because I would imagine he'd need a piece of this guy. That is freaky as all hell to think that he's been doing that long. Anybody here familiar with a convention called Gallifrey 1 that happens in Los Angeles?
No.
I know what it's supposed to be, but...
Okay, it's a Doctor Who convention that takes place in Los Angeles. It generally sells out within an hour of tickets going on sale for the following year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was an interesting cosplay mashup. I want you to check out this picture of what is titled The Dude.
Oh.
Check this out.
Okay.
That is an interesting fucking idea to mix up the dude from the Big Lebowski and the Oob.
Ood.
And it's spelled... Oh, the Ood, thank you. It's spelled Dude, D-O-O-D. Or according to Andrew Liptak on IO9, you can call him the Dude, or his Dudeness, or the Duder, or El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
I love it.
Hey, Jesse,
Oh my
Steve,
God.
you notice the carpet?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I take it you know where that takes place.
Yep.
That is the Los Angeles LAX Marriott, where Anime Los Angeles was held up until this year.
Well, up until next year.
Oh, yeah. Last bit of what the fuck news I have. This actually just came out today, and it was a serious what the fuck to me. There was a man who was arrested recently. Tell me if any of you know who this is, because I was surprised to find out who this is.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's the first thing I thought.
Nope. His name is Jake Lloyd. Ring any bells?
Nope.
Not really.
Jake Lloyd. He's 24 years old. He was arrested for passing cars on the double yellow line and began driving recklessly at high speeds in Charleston, South Carolina.
It's
Jake Lloyd was from the Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1, playing Anakin Skywalker.
Huh.
So, if he was driving erratically, maybe there was a problem with his pod racer?
Oh, you saw it coming.
if he used that line trying to avoid being arrested.
I am not the dick you are looking for. He faces charges of resisting arrest, reckless driving, driving without a license, and failure to stop for a blue light.
A blue light? What's a blue
Maybe it has, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with law enforcement in South Carolina. Maybe it has to do with not pulling over when police flash you the light. He's behind bars on bonds totaling $10,700, or maybe a few credits. You know, he looks like a skinhead, basically, in this photo, though.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's been through some shit. You see his face?
Yeah, see that scar.
He took a shot to the eye there. Let's just hope he doesn't introduce himself to his cell block mates as Anakin Skywalker, man. That would not go well. Not in the least. The subject of this week is the Image Comics series, The Wicked and the Divine. We picked up the first 4 issues of this series, originally produced in 2014. The synopsis I've been given all this time was apparently somewhat inaccurate. What it appears is going on is you have a fangirl following a group of pop stars known as the Pantheon. However, the Pantheon, as it turns out, is part of a weird convergence that happens every 90 years where 12 individuals seem to get almost random deities from all different types of religious beliefs over the Earth's history. And one of them is supposedly involved in the murder of a judge. It creates a situation where she's trying to understand what happened and who is the actual murderer, and it's a little more difficult when even the person professing their innocence could just as likely do it as the other suspects.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Well,
I admit, though, I didn't know a whole lot about the different deities. There were some of them I had to start looking up because I'm not familiar with a whole lot of different mythologies out there.
I was actually familiar with pretty much everything they brought up.
Yeah.
But I will say, this series does a pretty good job. It pulled me the fuck in pretty fast. This is the weirdest procedural story I've ever seen.
It bored me, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It dragged out right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It just dragged too long.
Very confused. Well, I thought it was very.
It was
confusing.
very disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
You really kind of had to read it and then think about it, and then you could kind of understand what was going on. But just kind of from the first issue, I was kind of going, okay, what the fuck's going on? Again, what the fuck's going on? Okay, I'm still not getting it. What the fuck's going on? Oh, okay. This is still fucking weird, though, and I'm still not sure I know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I thought the first issue was actually pretty concise.
I mean...
It told a pretty neat story. The only thing I was having a little trouble with was pulling apart the different pantheons. Because you have representatives in the first issue of ancient Egyptian, Judeo-Christian belief, and Japanese.
That's why it kind of confused me, because it was like, I recognize all these pieces, but they're not really fitting together, you know? I'm still confused as to what's causing this to happen, period.
The purpose of the whole convergence that supposedly happens every 90 years that draws together these avatars still isn't very clear. They focus very much on the murders so far.
Yeah, I wish they would focus a little less on that.
From what I was able to extrapolate, it seems like they're being used to kind of like either muses or I'm trying to think of the proper word, but basically, them showing up is supposed to, help humanity, with their issues as a society.
Right. But who's doing it? What's doing it? Why?
Yeah, that's the question.
I understood it was dual purpose. Yeah. They weren't supposed to just provide tools. They were also being used to further the belief systems of people across the world.
Yeah, maybe. And it's just, I think that's a more interesting question than who killed this judge.
This idiot judge. Who was, quite frankly, asking for it.
Yeah. He was like, I dare you. I dare you to do it.
Oh, wait, they're going to do it.
Right, as far as they know, though, these are pop stars. These are singers. He doesn't think of them as deities. This is...
Right, I know.
To be fair, I think a lot of people would react that way.
Right, obviously.
Disbelief and a little bit of fear.
It's some kind of
hero worship?
Hoax. And,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hero worship and so forth. But at the same time, okay, again, this is a guy that is apparently, sentencing a phony, for killing 2 guys that fired automatic weapons into a hotel room by snapping their fingers. And yet you're still saying that they're a fake and a phony. And then having it pointed out to you, and so of course, the judge is getting upset about this. But at the same time, it's just like, I
Kind of had it coming.
It's an unfortunate cognitive disconnect that a lot of people experience, though, when there's something that's relatively simple and obvious, however, they're trying to process it through their prism.
Yeah. Well, again,
that happens to all kinds of individuals throughout the course of human history.
Again, it's more just, I know you did it, but I can't prove it, but I'm still going to sentence you because I know you did it, even if I have no legal backing.
Well, I don't know what the English justice system is based upon. I've never had to face it.
Yeah, that is the other thing, too, is they haven't really actually said where this is taking place, but I can assume it is somewhere in England or something like that.
It's London. They have said the city a couple times.
Okay. Well, the city could also be New York.
Oh, they said London.
When?
I believe in issue 2. She mentioned it while she was moving around the city.
Oh, okay.
The main character of Laura did, I should say.
But yeah, it's very disjointed. I mean,
I like the I like the concepts. I agree. It's very disjointed, and the lore does not seem to be very well explained to me.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's just you're lacking that background where you can go, okay, this is why it's happening. So you're left in the dark. You're sitting there going, okay, why is this happening? Okay, I understand this is a kind of a whodunit. I did like the modern extrapolation of those particular deities and how they would be represented in a more modern style, especially like the Valkyries and how they were pretty much looking like they were straight out of Tron. I thought that was pretty crazy.
Oh, you mean Woden and his sect?
Woden plus his Valkyries, and he's pretty much dressed up like one of the guys from whatchamacallit? Daft Punk. Yeah. That was an interesting take,
Yeah.
So forth, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, especially from right from the very beginning where they killed themselves, and the reason why they sit there and always go 1, 2, 3, 4 before they use their powers, not explained.
Yeah, that's
only 4 issues into the story.
True.
Though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure if I read further into it, it would all start becoming clearer. But yeah, I don't know. It intrigued me, but at the same time, I probably won't continue with it. It's not something. That
I feel they should have started more with something that gets into the reasons for things. I don't know. The Morgan part was interesting. Maybe if they focus more on that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a couple of issues, though, with trying to start so much with the lore in the first few issues, and that is you gotta move forward with the story at some point.
Yeah.
Spending the first 2 or 3 issues building up the lore would probably bore people more than what they've presented thus far.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I tend to look on lore told in an interesting manner as a good story in and of itself. And I don't even think it would take multiple issues. I think if they just maybe taken 1 issue, it might have been all they really needed.
They could have just done with a splash page.
Something tells me this can't be told with a splash page. And the average comic book is only 22 issues once you take out the ads. Or not 22 issues, 22 pages.
This is like 30-something pages, though, per issue.
This is Image, though. They follow different rules than the standard Marvel DC stuff.
All I know is, the beginning kind of bored me. It peaked at certain places, but overall, it just really had no interest for me. I didn't like any of the
main character.
Except for the thug, the black guy. He was like the only one remotely interested me for some reason.
Ball.
Yeah, Bale. However you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
I liked the Morgan, at least in terms of how they were portraying her and her
Shakespearean kind of speaking and so forth. The multiple personalities.
The multiple personalities, yeah.
The Morrigan is a Scottish spectre, isn't it?
I believe so.
Celtic, yeah.
Yeah, Celtic.
Celtic, okay. Yeah, they pulled from a couple of mythologies I'm really unfamiliar with, but I was still interested in learning a lot. And I like the storytelling. I actually got kind of interested in the character of Lucifer. Both reticent and mercenary.
Yeah, Lucy was definitely meant to be that charismatic bad person, but
the archetype they gave her is not something I really go for it. Maybe that's another thing that dissuaded me.
Yeah, well, and then...
But it's not a matter of an archetype I go for. I just like the idea of a character who both professed his innocence, but also made it very clear it's very possible she could have done it anyway.
Yeah, because I'm a chronic liar.
Because it's kind of my job.
Right. I mean, I liked the personalities that they gave everybody. But at the same time, yeah, I don't really care enough about the story to continue on with it.
I do have multiple curiosities about where it's going. It's enough of a foothold, at least, into a decent story that I want to continue on. I actually got frustrated with where it ended in the 4 issues.
Yeah.
With Lucifer in jail and breaking out at that point.
Yeah.
I
wanted to see where she was heading, or if she was going to go back. I was confused.
I was pretty sure she was going to go out and get her cup of coffee. She seems to be that type of personality.
I was sure she was serious about that. The question was what she was going to do after that moment.
Yeah, it either just raise the city or just go out, get coffee, come back.
And according to the Wheel of 12 Deities, that was I guess you could say, the chapter break points in this comic book. There's still at least 2 that were unrevealed.
Yeah, including the one question I have is what issue she has with Tara, which is not somebody that I recognize.
I'm not sure either.
I think a lot of them have issues with Tara. Or
No, the fangirl.
Laura herself really hated Tara for some
reason.
It was never made extremely clear. She did whatever she could to avoid the idea of even approaching her.
So I'm unsure. The only thing I could think of is perhaps she knew Tara before she changed.
Or it could be just one of those PR nightmares. Maybe Tara is their version of the Kardashians.
Oh, God.
Well, what? They're a bunch of immortal witches who are definitely eating the souls of men.
Yeah, they present it in a pop culture singing type of an event, but it seems to be that people are experiencing religious ecstasy as well as other types of ecstasy listening to these performances. I would
maybe that's why I didn't like it, because that's the same vibe I got.
I've been to concerts. I've seen people go through that.
Yeah, it's never been my experience at concert, but then I've only been to 2, so.
There are people who are definitely moved by singers.
Yeah.
For some people, that's their source of inspiration.
Right.
And I was when they started to introduce more of these characters towards the end of issue 4, I actually started to run comparisons because some of them reminded me a lot of current pop stars. Like you said, Woden looked a lot like one of the DJs from Daft Punk. Ball reminded me of 50 Cent. Sekhmet bore a strong resemblance to Rihanna.
And actually, Ball kind of reminded me more of like
Kanye West.
Kanye West with that attitude.
Yeah.
With his attitude and his, I thought I was a god until I found out I was one type shit.
He's too clean cut, though.
I don't know.
He's got a better vocabulary.
Yeah. It just could be. But yeah, I don't know. I like certain aspects of it, but yeah, overall, not my cup of tea.
The clock, I found the timestamp on it interesting as well, that all these individuals, when they find out they're the avatars of these different gods, they have a 2-year lifespan.
Yeah. That was actually turned me off.
That's so weird.
That actually kind of raised the bar up for me, to be honest.
I just didn't see a reason why that would be so. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it just raises the question why. And unfortunately, in the 4 issues we've read so far, I got more whys than answers. So
yeah. That particular time frame indicated there's some other type of purpose beyond what they're doing already, that they're doing this. I just didn't know at the time what it was. They have a specific time clock, but for all I knew, that may have been because it's hard for the human being to try and contain that much power for that long.
Yeah, that's kind of my assumption of the whole thing.
So I would actually continue reading this. I can't say I'd recommend it to a whole lot of people, but I'm interested enough in the story to keep going.
Yeah.
I won't continue, but It depends. The people I would recommend this to would have to have some interest in the subject matter.
I actually kind of find multiple mythologies intriguing, but the story doesn't do it for me.
Agreed.
Well, next week is Comic-Con discussion. We got to talk prep for Comic-Con and what does it take to survive at this place.
Lots of water.
Because whatever a lot of people assume the answer is, probably don't know it.
I have been asked if I'm dressing up for Comic-Con.
Are you dressing up for Comic-Con?
I didn't think I was, but I made a joke about doing Lara Croft, which would be easy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you'd probably be pretty comfortable in that outfit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be very breathable. I still say you have the gear to do X-23. You just have to build the claws somehow.
That I don't know if I'd want to wear that costume around Comic-Con though. Way too humid.
Wouldn't have to be latex or anything stupid like that.
Lara Croft is
the
so nice and breezy.
You know, you gotta ask that one guy that does the Wolverine. He made some really neat claws.
Oh, Monster Mash?
Yeah.
I'm not sure he made those. He never indicated that making was one of his talents. I always wonder if somebody built it for him.
It's possible. In which case, they might be able to build some for somebody else.
Yeah, I met a few of his friends around WonderCon. They seem like the crafters.
I've seen him. A little bit of trial and error. I could actually construct it.
I actually found a guide on how to make claws, but I would need some plastic scythes first.
Where would you get a plastic scythe?
Was it Halloween stores? And down here, we've got one that's open year-round. I don't even know how we got into this shit. So, next week, we're going to have a discussion regarding prep for Comic-Con. What there is to do, how do you get ready, and how do you get ready for the different things you want to do. Because tooling the floor, buying exclusives, and going to panels
completely
require different levels of preparations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things you have to do to prep for your day. So we will talk about that next week, and then the week after that, most of the others will be off because I will be at Anime Expo, and anybody that knows me know I am not looking forward to that.
Welcome to hell.
You know, I've looked at Anime Expo as the crucible I got to get to Valhalla Comic-Con on the other side. Yeah. Next week we talk Comic-Con and preparation. Thank you very much for tuning in. I invite you to roll with us next week. Have a great one. I am Jeremy.
Steve.
Jesse.
And V.
Don't jerk and drive. Have a great one. I got distracted in nerd rage.